Welcome back to the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. We got Jay in the building. He's the chosen one, and I'm Greg, a legend, but only in my mind. Jay, what's going on with you, man?
What's happening, man?
Chilling. Let me go ahead and switch over here and see who we got. We got 19 people in the building, man. What's going on? GAT, salute. T-War, salute. Sport Coat, Jody TV, salute. What's going on? All right, bro. You know, I don't like to wait too long to hop into it. So let's first start off by thanking our sponsors, Rock Dog Interactive. If you need anything in regards to web design, anything tech, software related, so forth and so on, please reach out to Rock Dog Interactive. They can hook you up. And then, of course, Black Father Figures, Black Fathers Matter. As you can see, there is a website in the lower left-hand corner. Jay, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, sir. So Black Fathers, please check them out. There's a Black Fathers Figures cruise coming up on December 2nd through December 9th. Long overdue celebration of Black Father figures. Excellent trip. They have a lot of different options as far as payments and different type of plans over there. It's going to be going out of Port Canaveral, Florida, December 7th.
Absolutely, man. So that is the League of Legacy. He's always supporting us, man. Black Father Figures, that's near and dear to my heart, of course, because I am a Black father, a girl dad, as a matter of fact, got all girls. So go check that out, man. A cruise, more than likely. Well, I won't say more than likely. We got to still discuss it, but Jason and I are considering being a part of that cruise as well. So we'll see, guys, but definitely go check that out quickly and see what we got going on there. All right, man.
Let's show.
So let's jump into it, Jay, because I don't like to wait around for too long. Let's talk about what happened last night. Serrano, Baumgardner are now undisputed. Jay, we were watching the fight together and exchanging some text messages. What were your thoughts on the outcome of the fight? I'm gonna give you your flowers in this regards because it seems like everything that you were telling me prior to the fight came to fruition.
I appreciate that. That was a great scrap. Both of them, Amanda's fight as well as AB's fight. Both of Amanda, AB, they throw punches and bunches. My only issue with both of those ladies, they keep their head on that center line. They just do the pullback. They don't go under anything like that. They just sit there. And AB's issue, she just she just has that heart and she keeps coming. I just want her to keep practicing. You could tell Tony Harris has a lot of influence on her, a lot of her style, her swag and everything. Even her getting a little bit too much bravado and taking some shots that she doesn't need to be taking, that she definitely should be dodging and ducking under. But overall, the ladies did it up as usual. I mean, when it comes to boxing, the last couple of years, the ladies have been putting on some phenomenal shows, man. It was entertaining.
No, very entertaining. Yeah, guys, my bad. I actually was doing something else, and as I typed, I switched to a scene that didn't have audio. My bad, Jay. They missed a little bit of what you said, but no, totally agree. Alicia Baumgardner did what she needed to do, came in there, excellent power. She's very sharp, quick, a lot of boxing skills, but she does leave herself open to be countered and hit a lot. I think that's an area that Tony can improve on. And then just overall, like her stamina, I think that's something else that Tony is going to need to work on. Like she gasses out fairly quickly. And that was the thing that you were elaborating on prior to the fight, where you were saying, I hope she doesn't gas out because she seems to get tired very quickly. And she did recover after that first barrage of punches where she was hitting Alem, but she empties out pretty quickly, man, after throwing hard combinations. And so I think that's something she needs to work on. Honestly, I think she lifts too much weight. Like she seems to be a weightlifter. Every time I turn around, when I see her training, it seems like she was, when she's not in there, working on the mitts and stuff like that, she was doing a lot of weight training. So maybe that might be affecting her.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah. Because I know, man, in situations where, back in the day when we used to play sports, I was a lot more muscular, and I got tired quicker too, man, with carrying around all that muscle, man. Muscle eats oxygen, period.
like
So,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
So,
It's
but I
just
was excited to see what happened for her. I mean, she deserves it. It's clear to me that she
hell
works
yeah.
very hard.
Yeah, man. I can't give nothing but props to her. I mean, she's bust the ass, and she has a personality too, man. Especially at the post
Does.
fight. She said she was on a period started and everything. She still overcame that. Women can overcome many things. I salute her, man. She did a thing. So who knows how that
Shit.
impacted her. Only thing is like, as far as her gassing out, I couldn't really use that as a reason because she gassed out against in the Mayer fight as well a little bit. The same thing just continuously happens to her. So, but overall, the ladies did the damn thing last night. I was very appreciative of them. And the 2-minute rounds, it's fast, man. They're going at it. So I don't know how it would look if it was 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds, round championship fights, but I mean, they've earned it. I still don't understand the reason why they have the women at only 2-minute rounds versus 3-minute rounds. I just don't, because not like the guys don't gas out. Wilder, we seen AJ, other guys, men gas out as well. So I'd much rather them be on an even playing field so they can't be knocked. People try to knock them. Well, that's why they only fight 2-minute rounds. Hey, they're exciting.
I agree. Very exciting. And I can't wait to see him again, man. I was very excited about that fight. And they put on, man. They put on like they are. Sometimes I think about what women's boxing used to look like 20 years ago, and it's
Oh
changed totally.
man.
I mean, some of the ladies that are currently in the game, man, they are excellent fighters, and yeah, I can't wait to see Alicia get back in the ring and see what's next for her, which takes me to the next topic. Jay, what do you believe is next for her?
I mean, I know she called out Katie Taylor, but we know Katie Taylor's wrapped up with Amanda. So, I mean, Tony Harrison said she should just fight the next best person up. Really, she shouldn't go back and have a rematch with Meyer at all, unless it's just for money. For legacy, he said she needs to go to the next best thing, but he didn't say who she should fight next. So, I think I really just want her to really start really training, really work on head movement. Same thing with Amanda. They're both solid fighters, but their head movement is lackluster. They just do the pullback. They don't really bob or slip. They're not really slipping too often like that. That's the only thing I hate
Right.
about what I saw with them the last couple of fights, actually. So, but
Yeah, I
man,
totally understand. All right, man. So let's transition. Um, so we dropped a documentary type of video, 35 minutes. Um, the truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. We said that we would, and we did that. Um, you and I were talking about that the night that we dropped it. It's interesting, right? How that ends up going, Jay, because I sent you and I also sent the League of Legacy. I was trying to get in contact with Tunnel Vision too, but I don't think I had Tunnel Vision contact information. But I sent you guys the video because quite honestly, I didn't think the video was all that good. Um, and you watched it and told me, nope, go ahead and release it. And I said, "You sure?" Because I don't think it's that good. And you said, nope, go ahead and release it. And right now I think it's around 12,000 views. So apparently it was good enough for people to be interested in seeing it. Couple of things I do want to address with that, because you get certain feedback. Jay, I don't know if you saw some of the feedback that was in the comments section, but I do want to address some of the feedback, right? The first two that pop into my mind is Gamboa. So a lot of people say I didn't do justice to Gamboa and Ray Beltran in terms of their records, basically saying, because I gave their overall record, and their comment back to me was that these guys were like 41 or 42-1 or something like that when they fought Terence Crawford. The reason why I use their overall record, because in my mind, your overall record is who you are. That's number one. Number two, Gamboa, the Gamboa that everybody's trying to build up to say that Terence Crawford beat a monster, that Gamboa was at featherweight. Gamboa at super featherweight and lightweight got rocked frequently. All you have to do is go look at the prior two fights against, who was it? What was the guy's name? Perez, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he got rocked in those fights. That Gamboa was small for lightweight, was always small for lightweight.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I elected to include his entire record. And then there were a lot of people that were pushing back on the percentage split, the 65-35 percentage split, saying that that was a risk to Terence Crawford. In my mind, how is it a risk if you're in a situation where that's the level of value that you bring to the table? If you bring 35% of value to the table, that's no risk to you. That's just your value. So I completely disagree with anyone who was saying that, you know, there's an issue with me saying that, you know, there was no risk. The risk was equal there. Anything else you remember, Jay? I know a lot of people were upset that I used the word faulted, but that's actually the same word that Terence Crawford used.
That's Bud words, man.
It's Bud words, man. It's definitely his words.
You know what's funny to your statement there?
Go ahead.
Funny to your statement there, talking about, you know, how Gamboa came up and fought Bud, and they want to give Gamboa all the props in the world. I remember someone else came up in weight and fought the Truth,
but that's
and the Truth got bashed for fighting him. So yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Come on now.
Exactly. It's always a double standard as it relates to Spence for whatever reason. He hit Mikey Garcia was small, but Gamboa wasn't. Exactly. That's what I don't get. And we saw Mikey Garcia actually moving up in weight and being successful. Gamboa always looked shaky when he moved up. Soon as he moved up, he looked shaky. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad we did put the video out, whether people agree with it or don't agree with it. Because I think it's good commentary in terms of having discussions on specific points that I think a lot of people either skip or whatever. And another thing that popped up that people keep talking about is that I'm not telling the complete story. And they're saying stuff like, why didn't you mention Errol Spence saying the easy route? And I'm like, guys, the easy route, the way that I interpreted easy route was, it's the easier way to make a fight, right? It's the easier path. The thing that those individuals leave out is that Terence Crawford, right after that, said, you're a smart man. So clearly he agreed with the logic. So what is the issue? I mean, just certain stuff that, you know, they're saying that I'm biased or that the video was biased. At the end of the day, if you tell me something that in terms of Terence Crawford and his approach, that makes a whole lot of sense to me, I will definitely agree with it. But there's so much information that I left out of that video. Jay, I got all kind of clips and stuff that once I got to 30 minutes, I'm like, if I put all this stuff in here, it's going to be like an hour video. Yeah. I can't, it's too much. So, and I didn't want it to seem like we were bashing Terence Crawford either, because it's really just pointing out a lot of his inconsistencies. And that's why people were upset about it. Errol Spence really doesn't talk as much. So it's harder to point out any inconsistencies that he may have. And even when Terence Crawford was saying that he wasn't going to fight Errol Spence, within the video, I said that this was just posturing. So I didn't say that he didn't want to fight him. I just said he's posturing. Similarly, Errol Spence was posturing. So it's interesting to kind of hear the feedback from people who were in the comment section. But I do appreciate the people who are in the chat and everybody that went and saw the video, interacted with the content, whether you liked it or not. I'm very appreciative of that. And I know, Jason, you're very appreciative of that as well. So anything else we want to talk about in regards to that video? And please do, guys, in the comment section or go to the community. If you guys, you know, suggest something else that you feel like would be a good topic for us to cover in a documentary style type of video, let us know. And we can start working on those things. Anything else, Jay, you want to say?
Nah, salute to you. I mean, I know we talked about some of the other stuff that could have been in there in the video, and I'm glad you didn't, just because it would have put that video to about an hour, you know. on it. And
Yeah.
like you said, Spence doesn't give a lot of information out there for you to go back and forth. I've always said in other videos that if you just watch Terence Crawford's timeline since they started negotiating with Spence last year, you can see the inconsistencies in his stories. His goalpost was moving all over the place, story changing the same video at times. So it's just using his own words and logic against him. It's all him, what he put out there, and people want to take the easy route and just run with that and try to say he said it's easier to fight them. They're easier fighters as far as that. It wasn't about a competition. It was just easier to make the fight. They're all on the same side. And he said that what he was going to do, he was going to clean up his side. He did that. And then came to Bud and called Bud out after that, after his fight against Ugas. Bud was silent against his fight against David Avenesian. So it is what it is.
So got a couple of suggestions in the chat. Video about Terence Crawford. Sure. I guess we could do that. You guys should do some videos about legends who didn't duck fights. Absolutely. And I want to say shout out to Cerebral Shadow Boxer. Appreciate the love, man. Every bit helps. $10. That's much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, great. Another rerun. Okay. Rockman's in the building. Rock is in the okay. So anything else we want to cover in regards to that video, bro? Or do we want to go ahead and switch to the next topic?
I think we can go to the next topic. I mean, Jason Williams doing Jason Williams things.
Yeah, that's it, man. So let's transition to BLK Prime, Jay. So we did a video a few days ago about BLK Prime. They are still charging people's cards. Luckily for me, or I guess unluckily for me, I had a situation where we actually had some bank fraud, so we had to change some cards up. So we don't actually have that card anymore. So we didn't get billed anything. Jay, I know you didn't get billed anything, but we did hear and see people in the comment section getting billed. So it's interesting. Hey, so we did a video, and I know I will never get invited to a BLK Prime event, and I guess I'm going to be okay with that. But we did a video, and now, guys, if you guys go and Google Desmond Gums, one of the first things you will see is the video that was done on this channel by Desmond Gums. And he has a relatively shaky background. It is what it is. He has a rip-off report. And if you do your research and you know what areas he lived in, you can find some other things that look a little bit shady if you just go look at court records. But this entity I've always felt like was going to be challenged. It never felt like they had the people that you needed in a business like this in order for it to grow and prosper and be something that people would be willing to put their money in or buy their services, at least from a boxing perspective. And then just based off where they were, man, I mean, they were just in a situation where it just felt like they weren't in a position to necessarily grow like that. And so now we're seeing the ramifications and repercussions of just giving these guys your money because clearly something is not either set up in their system correctly, or they're purposely charging bills, or what they might be doing is setting it up in a way where it's not necessarily all that transparent that they intend to continue to bill you. So I don't know if anybody in the chat experienced this or not. We didn't, but we certainly saw people in the comment section, Jay. So I want to give you an opportunity to speak to that.
You said the T word, my brother. You said transparency. Huh? Transparency with BLK Prime. And who was talking about transparency before? Bud. So we want transparency with BLK Prime also. So I mean, from what I saw from Fannin, because Fannin showed receipts of him getting charged, and supposedly it's like a subscription, like their monthly subscription thing, but it's supposedly, I guess, a subscription for fights or whatnot because it's automatically charged. So I've never heard of any company doing that for something that's a one-time purchase. I purchased this one fight. I didn't purchase multiple fights to be charged like that. So that's very shady. So my question is this: how is this going to impact the pay-per-views for AB's fight? And that's Adrian Broner, not my boo Alicia Baumgardner.
Hey, I would remind you that your wife may see this one day, so you might not want to refer
She's
to her as your boo.
she's my boxing boo, man. She know
Okay.
that.
I'm just letting you know. All right.
But think about it. How
Yeah,
does that impact the next pay-per-view, you know?
I think it could. I think it could, right? Like, honestly, I am not going to purchase more than likely AB's pay-per-view fight. I actually sent a request to BLK Prime for a press pass in order to cover the event because it's here in Atlanta, Georgia, College Park. I did not receive any kind of feedback from them. It may be because of the video that is now tied to Desmond Gums. Who knows? But yeah, I never heard back from them, and the card simply is not worth my time to pay for. So
Exactly.
I don't think I'll be purchasing the J. What about you? Are you gonna purchase it?
Hell no. Hell no, I ain't purchasing that shit. No way in hell. First off, I'm not really. I'll support AB, but not for something like this. Fighting Michael Williams
Right.
Jr. And then the undercard is a whole bunch of TBAs to be announced outside of Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay. I don't want to care. I don't care to see that fight. So hell no, I ain't watching that fight. I'm no. I'll catch it when it replays.
Totally agree. I will catch it when it replays as well. I have no intentions on purchasing that fight. Um, Anything else we want to cover on BLK Prime, man? I mean, it's interesting how the feelings about this entity has shifted so quickly. When Terence Crawford was tied to BLK Prime, it seemed like they were the future of boxing. And now that Terence Crawford is rumored to be, maybe considering either signing with Golden Boy Promotions or working with Golden Boy Promotions, we're not hearing the same level of enthusiasm as it relates to BLK Prime. Do you think that that is a coincidence, Jay, or how you feel about that?
Hold on, what was that again?
I was talking about BLK Prime and the same. We don't feel that same energy in regards to that entity anymore now that Terence Crawford is, no longer associated with it.
Oh, that energy is gone. It's
Yeah,
completely gone, just like Terence Crawford gone.
exactly.
He didn't want the risk. He said that he don't have to worry about taking a risk when he's talking about that hedge fund shit. So,
Exactly.
he's not coming back to their rescue. It's funny because AB called Bud his stablemate. And Bud's like,
Right.
I'm out. Like that SpongeBob meme.
Exactly.
All right, I'm out. So,
Exactly.
nah, no one
Exactly.
cares about BLK.
Same here. Hey, you guys, we got 115 people in the building, 48 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. Or if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure that you are interacting with the content. And while you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. And while you're at it, go check out the Boxing Source and the Mic Check podcast. Both of those channels are like sister channels to AM Sports Media. All right. Jay, anything else we want to cover with that? Where was doesn't seem like anybody in the chat was affected by BLK Prime charging their cars again. I guess these folks, they were not going to buy that event at all. Seems
No,
like.
well, let me say this. Bud made a smart deal with BLK Prime because he fleeced them for their cash and got the hell up out of there because he saw it was a sinking ship before he,
Yeah,
he knew it was a sinking ship ahead of time. So that was
he
smart business
fleeced.
by Bud. I give Bud credit. So y'all can't say we're hating on Bud and everything. I give him credit on that one. He got the hell up out of there. That was BLK Prime dumbass for saying, hey, Bud is our one of our main guys when he said it. He was only fighting one time. But he said they
Absolutely.
are the future of boxing. He said they're gonna put in they're giving the best fights. BKAA, whatever he called it the first time, because he didn't even know the name of it. It's all good though.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Let's switch very quickly, man, to Benavidez versus Plant. Oh man, I got some energy for that one right there, dude. Those dudes hate each other. I mean, I was surprised. Like,
Yeah.
I know that there was. So initially, I did not know the level of the bad blood because I had not seen the brawl video. I saw the brawl video like right around the time where the rumor started to circulate that they were going to have a fight. But I saw the brawl video and I said, man, these guys got some real issues with each other. And then, at the presser, man, that energy. Now, David Benavidez, I mean, everybody's a pussy to him. I mean, Charlo's a pussy, Plant's a pussy, everybody's a pussy. But I don't think there's any bad blood or ill feelings towards Jamal Charlo. Sorry. I just think that, he just felt like Charlo didn't really answer the call when it came to those two individuals fighting. But Plant, he doesn't like Plant, bro, at all. So at this point, man, extremely excited about the opportunity to see these two gentlemen get into the ring. Jay, I'm going to pass it to you very quickly. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Man, I'm excited for this fight. I just hope nothing happens to derail the fight in March, because I hope David can keep himself controlled and not just suck a punch or knock the shit out of Caleb before they actually get in the ring. Because it was iffy at that press conference. I'm here for all the press conference. I'm gonna watch all of them.
Yeah.
Oh
man,
it's heated.
Live.
It's heated. It's paper. You see the tickets. The ticket sales are going out. I'm selling out like hotcakes, man. And crazy amount. It's like 15 G's for like a floor seat or some shit like that. I was looking at. It's ridiculous. Wow. And there's no fight, no titles on the line. So I mean, this fight is going to be a great fight. I see Caleb. He doesn't have that hate like David does. Caleb is just kind of cool. At least he's not showing it like David is. David's camp's like, we're going to kill it. We're going to murder this dude. We're going to put him out. So, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a fight, I think. I hope Caleb is working on his conditioning. Because if he doesn't, he's going to be out of there probably within 6 rounds. Because David's coming for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to pause and say thank you, LT, for the $5, man. Much appreciated. He's basically saying that I think David is a bit afraid of Plant. That interview was a tell. So, I mean, boy, that's a fair point, right? So it's always difficult to really tell, if someone is afraid or not. I mean, there are telltale signs when guys jittery and stuff like that. Caleb's response could be interpreted as someone who is a bit intimidated or afraid, right? With the way that he was kind of fuddling around with his pockets as David stood up and that kind of stuff, the low tone and all that other stuff, trying to keep things calm and relaxed. That could be interpreted as, fear. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. David, his over enthusiasm about getting after Caleb Plant. Sometimes when you rah, that is a sign that you're not as confident as you wish you were. I don't know. I know both of these guys are not afraid to get into the ring with each other. I am confident in that. I know that David Benavidez is certainly not Anthony Durrell. I know that as well.
Yeah.
So when I look at the press conference between Anthony Durrell and Caleb Plant's energy is different than when he was in front of David Benavidez. So he has a different energy. Now, does that mean he's afraid? Who knows? Maybe he's just concerned about this guy going off the wall. I have no idea. But regardless, I can't wait to every single press conference, and I want those guys to be nose to nose. I mean, you just put a stipulation in there. If you throw a punch, you ain't making no money. I mean, David got to be smart. You can't throw no punch before the fight actually is initiated, or you gonna be asked out of some dollars, brother. And that's how you control that. You can talk and call him a pussy and a bitch all you want to, but you can't throw punches before the fight. Makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I'm leaning towards David just because of the anger he has towards him, but that emotion can also be flipped on you as well.
Absolutely.
If you go out there, So I mean, you go in there just the wrong way, but he showed the emotion in the press conference. But after a while, when he wasn't around Plant, you could see he started talking more like a real boxer. He's like he still gives Caleb his respect. So I don't think he's gonna go in there all willy nilly and get caught with something stupid. But man, it's kind of also the flip side is looking at Plant. Plant has that eerie calmness right now. He's real calm and cool. He's not like he was with Canelo.
Right.
He went all adamant, anything like that. He's been clowning David on Twitter though. Talking about David was reading how to be mad on his phone and shit like that.
Yeah.
He brought his old belts that he no longer has. So he's been clowning on Twitter and anything like that. But I cannot I can't count Caleb out because I think he's a better boxer, and the motion may get the best of David. But I just can't wait for this damn fight.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. David has to control the emotion, right? If you have the ability, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be angry or whatever, but you have to harness that emotion. You have to harness those feelings and use them to execute your game plan, to motivate you and drive you to deliver on fight night. That is what is important. If you allow those emotions to take over, if you become just engulfed in your emotions, then you're gonna be in for a long night and you're probably gonna get your ass whooped. So I would, if it were me and I was either managing him or his trainer, but his dad is just as emotional about this as he is. But I would say, hey man, let's dial this back, right? This is business. Let's dial it back and focus on the task at hand. Let me pause here real quick. Antisocial 214 Texas. The cap. Number one, appreciate the $5, man. It's much appreciated. The cap. David wins by KO, and speed is his show improved. How many KOs does Plant have? I don't remember exactly how many KOs the Plant has, but I believe that David Benavidez is going to win. I think Jay, who's in our comment sections all the time. Jay, shout out to Jay, one of our longtime subscribers. I believe Jay has Plant winning.
13. He has 13 KOs.
So it's different opinions, man, when you think about it. Like some people got Plant winning, some people got Tony Harrison says that he believes it's going to be an easy fight for Plant. And I find that to be difficult to believe, right? I don't see that happening. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's pause here very quickly, Jay. We got 133 people in the building, 56 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. Or if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure that you engage. Also, when you get the opportunity, go over there to the right-hand side, click that subscribe button, and become a member of the channel. We are always dropping content daily. And while you're at it, go check out the Mic Check podcast, as well as the Boxing Voice. Those two channels are like sister channels to us. And then shout out to our sponsors, Rock Dog Interactive. If you need anything in graphic designs or software design, Rock Dog Interactive, that's where you want to go. And Black Father Figures, they have a cruise coming up here toward the end of the year. Jay, when did you say it was? I think it was December 2nd through December 9th out of
Port
Canaveral, Florida. Yep, absolutely. The website is down in the lower left-hand corner. Black Father Figures Matter. Jay and I, we still thinking about if we're going to be able to make it or not. But certainly Black Father Figures Cruise, that's a big time event. Go check it out. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to discuss relative to Caleb Plant and Benavidez? One thing else I want to say is we've been in contact with his publicist and we're trying to get him on the show. We'll see if we're successful in doing this. His publicist, very nice woman. She actually handles fighters as well. So she understands the business of boxing very, very, very well. So I'm actually also interested in getting her on the show so she can talk a little bit about, just the mechanics and how things actually operate in the sport of boxing. So that would be interesting to get her on as well. But we'll see if we can get David on and see if we can get her on as well. Anything else, Jay, you want to cover in regards to this topic?
Yeah, it's actually the Boxing Source, not the Boxing Voice.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Boxing Source.
The Boxing Source.
My apology.
Well, it's all good. Now, just one more shout out to LT. LT said he got Plant in 12. Too smart for David, and he hasn't fought at this level. That's a plausible option. I mean, especially if it goes to a UD, I definitely think Plant will win that by UD. I think David doesn't win that by UD. I think David wins by KO or TKO. And I think David wins within 9 rounds that way. I just don't see Plant being able to get him out of there.
Did you address LT? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was LT. I was just addressing. Yeah.
Okay, LT, appreciate the $5, man. Much.
Yeah, he doubled back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Anything else we want to talk about in regards to this fight, bro? I mean, again, very excited about this fight. This is going to be a very entertaining fight. And Jay, do we know who is on the undercard yet?
Undercard, it is going to be. I know one of the fighters on undercard is Chris Colbert versus oh man, what's the little I think it's Puerto Rican dude. Forgot his name. He only has one loss as well. So it's two fighters coming off one loss, their own loss, and that's a good fight as well. I gotta find that because this is from what I remember. That card was pretty good.
Gotcha.
Because that's why that card is on pay-per-view and it's selling like hotcakes.
Gotcha. All right, man. Anything else we want to cover in regards to that topic, or do we want to transition to something else?
I'm just going through the chat real quick to see if anyone had anything in there real fast. Yeah, I mean, it seems some people say, okay, David's gonna get him up out of there in 4 or 5 rounds. Others say, Plant might win by UD. So I mean, this makes this a very intriguing fight, and it's gonna be a hell of a fight night. I mean, we could be there, but we'll be watching it for sure.
Crowley's fighting on the undercard as well. Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks for that, Jay. All right, man. Let's transition before we we get to the phone lines, give people the opportunity to call in. Another topic that I wanted us to address very quickly is, we did a video. This was, was it a couple of days ago? And it kind of transitioned into the topic of what's next for Terence Crawford, right? So
yeah,
know that there's rumors out there that he could be, fighting Rocha next. Rocha makes the most sense. So I fully expect that to occur if he stays at 147 pounds. But the comment that we heard from Terence Crawford on multiple occasions is that if he could not get the Errol Spence fight, he was going to move up and beat up on his cheerleader, which is Jermell Charlo. So the fight hasn't occurred yet, and it appears that he's more interested in fighting Rocha than he is moving up and facing Charlo. I mean, what happened to all that energy, Jay? Do you think there's any possibility that Terence Crawford may decide to go ahead and if he and Spence are unable to make a fight after Spence fights Thurman in May or June or whenever he's going to end up fighting him? I have no idea at this point. I don't even know if the fight is really on. But is there a possibility that he might move up to the junior middleweight division?
I don't think so. I think it was all in the heat of the moment. He's whoever's associated with Spence, he's going to try to give him some smoke. Especially on Twitter or any IG or any other videos like that. I don't think Crawford's going to move to 154 for that. I really don't. I don't know if he'll stay at 147.
Can he beat him?
Beat who?
Can he beat him? Can he beat
Jermell?
Charlo? Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a puncher's chance, but I don't think he can. I really don't think he can beat Jermell. I think Jermell will hurt him. I really do. I mean, now as far as we're talking about who's the better boxer, Bud's the better boxer.
Yeah.
I give Bud that hands down over Mel. I just think Mel is too strong and pressures him. I don't think Bud will be able to handle that. And Bud has been getting hit a little bit more often than he did in the past as well. So I don't think he'll be able to last against a Charlo. He'll be outboxing him probably for the first round, but I think Charlo will eventually catch up with him.
Yeah. Kenny Porter, and I don't know if we discussed this last week on our show or whatever, but I'm going to bring it back up. I know we did a video on it. I can't remember if we actually addressed it in the live. But Kenny Porter just feels like he doesn't really have a shot at beating Charlo. And, we discussed this earlier today, so I guess I'll tie all this stuff in together. But Terence Crawford, when people talk about Terence Crawford, they talk about Terence Crawford, the 140-pound version of Terence Crawford. And I think people forget that the 147-pound version of Terence Crawford is not the same fighter. Crawford relies heavily on athleticism, similar to Roy Jones. Not quite as bad as Roy Jones, because I think he uses a little bit more skills than Roy Jones, but he does rely heavily on athleticism, and that athleticism has faded. If you look at his performance against Avanesian, Sean Porter, who else? Who was the even Mean Machine? He looked a little bit better against Mean Machine, but Kell Brook, when I see him, that foot movement, the speed, the reaction time seems a bit slower, and you're noticing that he's getting clipped and hit a little bit more now because he's so rangy. And is really a really good counter puncher, and he can time fighters coming in. He's been able to stave them off, right? And for whatever reason, now all of a sudden he seems to have punching power, which he didn't seem to have that level of punching power at the lower weight class. So that's interesting. But he is not the same fighter. So when you start to compare him to Jermell Charlo or Errol Spence and say that he's going to do this or do that, and you're citing or referencing skills that he has not demonstrated in a few years, I think I think you're off, right? So,
Right.
Jay, I don't know about you. What are your thoughts on that, man? Is he still demonstrating the same level of athleticism and movement that we've seen in the past? It looks like the same Crawford to an extent, but he kind of sits there a little bit more and try to throw hard shots. And we know that against someone like Errol Spence, it's not the game plan to execute.
Yeah, I mean, him being more of a stationary target is going to be an issue. Especially with a power puncher like Mel and someone that comes forward and just bruises you like Spence. It's easy when you can do that with fighters that are B-level fighters, C-level fighters that don't got the pop, don't have the ring IQ. So I mean, it's just natural. Also, as you age, you're gonna get slower. Like you talked about, one of my favorite fighters is Roy Jones Jr.
Absolutely.
He got older, he relied on that athleticism, and it failed him. Also, one thing I will say, I think Bud is more technical, more fundamentally sound than Roy was, just because Roy used to do a lot of wide slapping punches. Crawford will tighten that shit up on you more likely than Roy did. But as you up in age, not moving as much against someone that really that really hates you, like Mel don't like nobody. Mel comes to the ring for something different. Just he reminds me of the way what Regis talked about. Regis like, I'm not here to fight you, I'm here to hurt you.
Right.
And Crawford can't allow those shots to happen like that. He's still a damn good fighter, but at 154, nah. But he definitely is slowed down. Now I don't know how much of it is him slowing down just due to age, or is it just also because he doesn't respect the fighter he was fighting. If I know you can't hurt me and I'm not really worrying about that, I'll sit in the pocket. You're not a true threat.
Let me ask you this, playing devil's advocate. Do you think that he felt that Jeff Horn was a threat?
No.
But he looked much faster and used a whole lot more movement against Jeff Horn.
He was younger.
I think it's due to age.
I think it's a combination of both of those.
So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with Mr. Crawford, but I don't think he's going to move up to 154 pounds. Jay said he'd get KO'd badly. I agree. Like I've always wondered what would happen because I saw him hurt by Gamboa. I saw him hurt by Mean Machine. What happens when he gets hit by somebody that can actually finish? What happens if he gets hit by Mel and he gets wobbled? Mel would get his ass up out of there, period.
Yeah.
Because he has the power and he has the skills and he has the work rate to do it. So, and the other thing that I've said that I feel like, and I've said this for a long time, and just, we did the film study on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. And the one thing that I noticed about Crawford was that range. For a guy that's 5'8", Terence Crawford has extremely long arms, and he uses those long arms to control range. He does not, a lot of people say he's a master at controlling range. No, his attributes allow him to control range very well. So I don't think, and those attributes are his long arms. If he were to go to 154 pounds and face Jermell Charlo, he's going to be at a range where he's throwing those same punches, but the guy across from him can land at that range too, versus like a Gamboa who could not land at that range, like a Sean Porter who could not land at that range, like a Mean Machine who could not land at that range. So even with Errol Spence, Errol will be able to more than likely land at us, the same range as Terence Crawford, which will create some challenges for him that he didn't necessarily have in the past. So I personally, I don't believe he's going to be as successful as a lot of people who are his supporters believe he will be in those against those fighters. My thoughts.
I agree with you. And I mean, also you made a good point where Crawford has had a advantage over other fighters in 147, 140, 135, whatnot, other division, because he was always taller and lankier. Against Mel, they have about the same reach, and he's not going to be taller, and he hasn't fought really a physical fighter like Mel, especially a heavier fighter than him. I don't think ever. Most physical person he probably fought was what? Jeff Horn?
Yeah.
Just called Jeff Horn style. You know, Jeff
Yeah,
Horn is nowhere a Mel. Huh?
Horn is goofy.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, it'll be an interesting matchup. You know, don't get me wrong, I'll watch the hell out of that fight, but that shit ain't gonna happen. You know, that shit ain't gonna happen. Now, I mean, it'll be a G move. It'll be a real boss move by Bud be like, you know what, I can't get Spence. I'm gonna do what I have to make the concession, whatever, to fight Mel, who's at 154, who's already undisputed. So I'm taking more of a risk of fighting Mel because Mel's bigger, Mel's been undisputed. I'll go that route. And then he does that, he'll have all the chips. Everyone can't say shit to him then, you know, because he would have jumped Spence, fought Mel, and then Spence coming at 154 anyway. What does Spence have to do? Spence has to fight him to get undisputed or any belt at 154. So that would be the big joker in his back pocket if he were able to do that, but he won't do it. I don't see him doing that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be his ace in the hole, because if he truly believes that Errol Spence is avoiding him, moving up to 154 and taking the title from Mel would then force Errol Spence's hand, because he's gonna move up to 154. And if Errol Spence were to move up to 154 and Terence Crawford is undisputed and he doesn't fight him, we'd all call him out. We'd all have an issue with that. So no, I totally agree with that. But of course, Terence Crawford looks for the path of least resistance. So having to go up there and actually try to conquer Jermell Charlo, I just don't see him making that attempt. But Jay, let me just pause here very quickly. We got 152 people in the building, 73 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button on your way in. And also, if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure that you are engaging with the content. Also, there's a little icon on the right-hand side. Make sure you click that so that you can join the channel. We are always dropping content on a daily basis that I'm sure you will enjoy. And while you're at it, take the time and the opportunity to go check out The Boxing Source, as well as the Mic Check podcast with T Ward. They are like sister channels to us. So we are very appreciative of those guys. Go check them out as well.
So Greg.
All right, Jay. Anything
got a question
else
for you?
Yeah.
Based on the chat. So why is it that people, mainly Bud fans, are mad with Spence for having to fight his mandatory, but not mad at Bud for going to fight David Amnesia? Now remember, Bud chose to fight David Amnesia. Sorry, not Amnesia. He chose to fight David. Spence is not choosing. He's mandated to fight Keith.
Yeah, so Brenda said at 154. I don't know why they're so concerned about it being at 154 either, right? So at the end of the day, and let me back up by saying this. I don't like the fight. I don't like the rule that allows him to go and defend a 147-pound title at 154. Well, it's not a rule, but there's a lack of rules, if you will.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the rules. I also don't like the rules that allow Terence Crawford to go, 18 months without defending against a mandatory either, especially considering the fact that he wasn't unifying any titles. So I don't like any of those rules. So let me just state that. But at the end of the day, Errol Spence has the ability to do it. And this allows him to spin the block, right? Because if he defends his title successfully against Keith Thurman, he will still be unified champion, WBC, IBF, and WBA. And that would allow him one last attempt to make a fight with Terence Crawford. So for me, that is more important. Now, the reason why I believe that some of the Terence Crawford fans are upset is because they look for any avenue anything to point at to say that Errol Spence is an issue, because they know deep down in their hearts, and I'm talking directly to Brenda McDonald, that there's not a whole lot of ammo that they currently have. Case in point, Errol Spence was literally talking about Bivol versus, Beterbiev versus Yard, but yet people started talking about, oh, he's saying that he's going to age out Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford fans are literally reaching for anything that they can find to try to spin the narrative, because there's so much ammo against Terence Crawford that they don't really know what to do. Those are my thoughts on it. That's what I believe is probably the case. But Jay, I mean, you posed the question for a reason. So what do you think the case? What do you think is going on here?
I mean, they're being selective on who they want to be. They're fans. They're fans of Bud to the degree where they won't see this. It's okay for Bud to back out of negotiations, go to another company, go find another fighter, pull another fighter out of who was already scheduled to fight in November, pull him out of his fight him in December. That's cool. But it's not cool for Spence to fight his mandatory. Spence didn't want this fight. Do I like this fight? Hell no. Do I think Thurman deserved this fight? Hell no. But it's the mandatory. Spence don't want this. If Bud had signed a damn contract, we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd be talking about the rematch of Spence and Bud, regardless of who won that fight.
Exactly. Rockman in the comments section is a prime example of a Terence Crawford fan that refuses to actually acknowledge the facts and looks for areas of opportunity to grab onto something to say, this, that, and the third. So he says he hasn't had an IBF mandatory defense, which is true, but he did have a WBC mandatory against Danny Garcia. They forget that. He's also been unifying the titles. They don't remember that.
Exactly.
Also, over the last 4 years, both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have had the same number of mandatory defenses, yet they keep talking about he hasn't defended this and that. The reason is because they are trying to paint a narrative that the issue is with Errol Spence, and look, he won't fight Boots Ennis. Again, this all came from Terence Crawford. He always faulted his mandatories. You heard it. He always faulted his mandatories. And so this is a narrative that Terence Crawford has put out there for his fans to grab hold of. And again, they have fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. And that is part of the issue that I have, that they'll say, oh, you guys are biased. But it's like, man, a lot of this stuff is just plain facts.
Yeah. And on top of that, Greg, Spence has 3 belts. He has 3 belts now. He was attempting to unify to try to be undisputed. So do you want him to try to fight a mandatory or to unify? So now y'all, the goalpost was here, now that mug's over here. Which one do y'all want, man? Y'all say he's not fighting his mandatory. Now he's fighting a mandatory. Why is he fighting Keith? He's a mandatory. Why is he unified? He was unified. I mean, y'all try to have it every which way for on Spence side, but Bud can do no wrong. Bud can fight the number 6, the number 7. He signs with Golden Boy. He ain't fighting Spence. He ain't fighting Spence in 2023. And Bud's going to be 36, 37 next year. So he won't be fighting Spence at all. So what y'all going to be asking you then? Bud signs with Golden Boy. What you going to say? Well, he's just getting the bag. Okay. So now it's okay for him to get a bag. Which one is it, man? Do y'all want to fight or not?
Hey, this is what Jason Williams say. Shout out to Jason Williams, man. This is truly, I hated Jason Williams when he first came on the channel, and now I love him. Isn't that amazing? And I don't agree with anything he says in regards to Terence Crawford, but he says Bud is a boxing champion, not a spelling bee champion, nor grammar champ, which I totally agree with. But yet Jason Williams, out of your own mouth, you'll say that he should be at the negotiation table and he should be approving expenses associated with a multi-million-dollar fight. Make it make sense. That don't make any sense to me. And I agree. He's not a spelling bee champ. He's not a grammar champ. So he needs to STFU, get some people around him who know what they're doing, and sit back and make the money. Simple as that for me. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, man. One last topic before we open up the I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
No, you good.
All right. One last thing before we open up the phone lines. We got 178 people in the building. We got 84 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button, or if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure that you engage with the content and the channel. While you're at it, there's an icon right there on the lower right-hand side of this screen. It is a subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. This channel is always dropping content on a daily basis that I'm sure you will enjoy. Also, our sponsors, Rock Dog Interactive. If you need anything in terms of software design, website design, graphic design, reach out to Rock Dog Interactive. Also, Black Father Figures. Right now, there's a cruise that's going to occur at the end of the year, December 2nd through December 9th, out of Cape Canaveral, Florida, 7-day cruise. Pricing will be, I think we'll have pricing next week, if I'm not mistaken, but the website is in the lower left-hand corner. Go check it out. Black Father Figures, just an excellent organization. I know there's a lot of Black fathers in the chat, and we are invaluable individuals in our children's lives. All right, man. Tony Harrison, bro, had an interesting perspective on Errol Spence. Jay, do we want to talk about that? Did we drop that video yet, Jay?
I believe we did.
Yeah. I cannot recall if we talked about that. We don't want to give a spoiler to our videos, and we do so many of them. Sometimes we just keep them in the chamber. We haven't released them yet. So
yeah, it looks like we did. Yeah, because we talked about how he was
yeah, I think we did.
147, how Terence not Terence, but how Tony I think it's over if Spence goes to 154.
Yeah. So let's dive into that, man. I'm interested in hearing what the folks in the chat have to say about this. Tony Harrison believes that if Errol Spence does fight Keith Thurman at 154 pounds, that there's a high probability that he is not coming back to 147. Believes that Spence will be great at any weight that he fights at, but doesn't believe that he will come back down to 147. But not only that, when the interviewer asked him specifically about whether or not the luster of the fight would be, would the fight no longer have its same level of luster at 154 pounds, since this, it won't have the same historical impact. I don't know if Tony necessarily understood the question, but it felt like he understood the question as who would win the fight. And he gave it to Errol Spence because of the level of competition. So I want to pause there, man, and talk about that a little bit, Jay. What are your thoughts on what he had to say in regards to Errol Spence not moving back down to 147 pounds? But not only that, he's giving Spence the edge because of the competition. And we know we've heard the opposite from a lot of Terence Crawford sycophants.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, some blood fans might say, well, he's just going for Spence because Spence picked him to beat Tim Tszyu.
Right.
So he just returned the favor. Although Spence is in a stable mix with Mel, who is Tony's pretty much nemesis. So they'll flip it around either way. But I mean, I found it interesting about his take on as far as the resumes goes, because that lets you know how he's looking at the resume of each fighter. He's knowing that he's basically saying that Spence's resume at 147 is better than Butt's resume at 147. And that's just clear as day. Should be clear as day, except for some people that has Butt blinders on, whatever. Now, as far as going from 154 to 147, that could definitely be something to take in consideration, because that can impact you. It's not as much weight as Roy Jones did, going from heavyweight all the way down to 168 or 175 dropped down to fight Tarver. So I mean, that's not his biggest change. But if you've already been struggling to make 147, you go up to 154, your body gets a little acclimated to that. To drop back down to 147, it could be a strain, but I wouldn't give that no excuse if Spence did that, because he's choosing to do that. He's choosing to do that. So I wouldn't give him an excuse on that. If he were to fight Bud at 147 after going at 154, drop down 147, and lose, he just lost.
It's always interesting when people come in the chat to tell us that they got to leave the chat. Like, just leave, dude. No one cares. Anyway, like, it's just interesting. People come in the comment section just to say this, that, and the third, because you're not you're not following there. And it's funny because when they say that, they have no rational argument behind what they're saying. All they say is that you don't know this or you don't know that. So it's very interesting when you see that. I
Hey, we
see
got
some comments in the chat. Rockman coming here and lose debates like
all the
freaking
time.
every weekend. I don't. It's
Rockman's a
like,
glutton for punishment, but we appreciate you, man. Shout out to LT
no,
for
I
the
do appreciate
$5
Rockman.
again.
It's a different perspective. His perspective is wrong, but it's a different perspective. LT again, appreciate the $5, bro. What if Spence moves to 154 and doesn't fight Thurman? Wouldn't that open up a fight with Bud and Keith?
Man, LT, that'll open up a whole bunch of can of worms, man. I don't even want to think about that.
That would be interesting because really
Because
what would then end up happening is the winner out of Ortiz and Stanionis would be the WBA regular champion. Keith would probably be forced to fight for the interim WBC title. I think that would then open it up for Terence Crawford to then challenge one of those interim champions, whether it's Ortiz or Boots. It probably won't be Boots because anybody that's athletic or could punch hard, I don't think he would want to be in the ring with him. But Virgil Ortiz can punch hard too, but probably he would view him as less skilled just based off of some comments that he's made in the past. So my thought would be he would end up fighting Virgil Ortiz.
yeah, well, supposedly Crawford, not Crawford, but Thurman is moving up the ladder to being Bud's mandatory. So with Ortiz and Stanionis still set to fight the end of April, I believe. If somehow Spence all of a sudden just vacates or does whatever, moves at 154 and doesn't fight Keith right now, Keith will be in line for Bud. Is what's coming out right now. So I really don't think Keith is deserving of a fight with Spence nor Bud. I don't think he's earned the fight for it. I know he only has one loss, and that was to Pacquiao. But since then, he's fought Barrios. He won that fight by UD, and he had some struggles in that fight. Hasn't fought since then. So I don't think he's deserving of a title shot for either one of them.
What is Lindell Hampton talking about? It's the only formula. There's nothing to talk about. What is he talking about?
I think he is responding to someone else.
Because I see T-War said my channel too. Oh, I don't know. Listen, and I saw Rockman make a similar I don't know if they refer to the same thing.
Lindell Hampton said all the channels are like Groundhog Day because nobody fight each other.
All the channels are like Groundhog Day. I'm not sure I understand that. But at the end of the day, the topics that people want to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what any show is going to talk about. So let's make that clear, right? That's just what it is. And so Rock, I get what you're saying. Rock didn't come in on not one thing. So we did 2 or 3 other topics that were outside of that. I don't see Rock in any of the comment sections other than Terence Crawford. So obviously that's the topic that Rock wants to talk about as well. So let's keep it real, guys. All right, man. So we are at a minute and Jay, an hour and 7 minutes. So I want to give us the opportunity to open up the phone lines because we know that can go for a while, man, especially when people get going. So we got 170 people in the building. We got 102 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. Or if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button. But make sure that you engage with the content. Look in the lower right-hand side of the screen. You'll see a subscribe button. Click on it. You'll become a subscriber of this channel. We are always dropping content, and you'll always see Jason and I in the comment section, whether you agree with what we're saying or not. We are always interacting and open for a debate. While you're at it, go check out the Mic Check Podcast Tee. Please put your link into the comment section right now. That's your cue. And also check out the Boxing Source. They're like sister channels to us. And we're always interacting and we're always on each other's channel. Jay, let me bring up or drop the phone line into the chat and pin it. We got people that probably want to call in and talk about your boy. But Terence Crawford.
That's fine.
Or whoever. So it's in the chat and pinned to the top. Ray Jackson, shout out, man. Ray Jackson in the building. Salute.
The one and the only.
And let me bring up that phone number here on our screen.
Hey, y'all follow Ray Jackson on Twitter, man. Y'all will be entertained and educated at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. So we should have the phone number coming up here. And we ready to go, guys. What's going on with you, man? There's the phone number. We ready for the call-ins. Let's keep on talking, Jay. Jason and Greg, don't sweat it. Haters gonna hate. Man, I
Jay,
totally
we don't.
understand that, Jay.
We don't sweat it.
We can appreciate that. We got somebody calling in from the 314. You are on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's going on with you, man?
What's up, Jason and Greg? This is LT.
What's up, LT?
What's going on with you, man?
Appreciate you.
What's up? What's up, Pete? I got a couple things. I am a big fan of Keith Thurman.
Yep.
I'm also a big fan of Errol Spence. And I'm the least fan of Terence Crawford, only because he didn't fight Spence, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that Spence will fight Keith, but I get the feeling he's not. He's going to hold his word and he's not going to fight him. And I saw Jason kind of mention what I was thinking is that that's going to open the door up for Keith to have an opportunity to fight Bud because, and it may even be mandatory. Yeah. And I would love to see that fight because I think that would also be a competitive fight. My issue with Bud is that I hadn't seen him in enough 50-50 fights to know exactly if he's the real deal. And him evading that Spence fight gives me and I think most people pause to call. You gotta pause at him, man, because like, oh, do you really want these fights? Right. So that's how I think there. And I wanted to get Jason's opinion on it. Do you think, because you said that you don't believe that Keith actually deserves a fight because he hasn't been in competition for a while, and his last fight was Mario Barria, right? And I understand your feelings about that, but I'm putting feelings aside, and I want to see some great fights. And I think Thurman would offer an awesome fight with him because we all know Thurman ain't no scrub, and he can box. And I put him in the same category as a Caleb Plant. His coming fight with David Benavidez, where he's not a knockout artist, but this dude can let it go 12 rounds. Yeah, and I believe he can actually beat David Benavidez because he has not seen skills like that, and this is a different level of competition. That's how I see Keith Thurman. It's a different level of competition. This is not going to be an easy fight for Spence if he takes it with Keith Thurman. That's not going to be an easy fight at all. In fact, I would put money on it that it's at least going past 6 rounds, easy. Yeah. So I want to get you all honest opinion to this. Is Keith Thurman, you think he's that washed up that he could not compete with either one of these guys? Same thing with Caleb Plant, because people like, oh, the power is just too much. Well, I haven't seen any real skills out of David Benavidez that says to me that he could actually beat Plant. Because only thing I saw with Caleb Plant, his problem, which was evident in the Canelo fight, was his stamina. If that man could have had stamina, he would have been sweet hand Plant in that fight because he was in a good fight with Caleb. And I think that's given him more confidence in going into this current fight. I'll hang up and get you all's opinion. And thank you for letting me have mine.
All right, man.
No problem. LT, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first, Greg?
I'll go first. So I've said on multiple occasions that Keith Thurman is going to be competitive in this fight just due to his style. Has he aged a bit? Yes. But he does use movement. He's athletic, and he's going to move around. So Errol's going to have to, or he's going to be forced to cut the ring off and actually be able to get to Keith. So Keith will be competitive. and Keith is going to try to stop on a dime, throw combinations, and see if he can land and then move. So will he be competitive? Yes, I do believe he'll be competitive. I think the issue will be that his legs won't be able to stand up to that, because Errol will find him. He will find him. And you'll see him slowly but surely, constantly getting closer and closer and finding them, and starting to land. And I think if he, we know Errol's bread and butter is the body, and we know Keith is not someone that can really take it to the body. So I believe personally that he will give him a challenge into the middle rounds, but I think he'll start to fade and ultimately get put up out of there. Let me answer the line, Jay. Finish. Hey, you own the Angry Man podcast, but just give me 1 second. I want Jay to get the opportunity to give his feedback on our last caller's question, and then we'll come to you.
Yeah, I mean, regarding with Thurman, I think Thurman's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I think Thurman is washed up in the sense where I don't think he's all the way in boxing anymore. He has a family. He's gotten married. He's had a lot of injuries. He's a really good analyst, entertaining everything. He just doesn't seem like he's like really into it. So that's why I say he's not in. I don't say he's not deserving of it like that, because he just doesn't seem like he's there. It's just for a money grab, which is fine. Get your money, Thurman, and everything. You from the Bay Area, as Greg always says, we're all the same, Tampa and St. Pete and Clearwater. So go right ahead. But I know with the way Spence fights, going to the body, I don't think Thurman will last the full 12. I think Thurman will get TKO probably by round 9. It'll go past 6. It'll be an interesting fight because Keith has a great boxing IQ. I just don't see him lasting. Even with Bud, and same thing with Bud. I don't think he'll last with Bud neither. I think Bud will get him up out of there too, probably within 9 to 10, just because of Thurman's weak core every time. That's his problem, But yeah, that's just my take on that. I'd rather see Spence and Bud. I don't want to see anyone really else fight Spence. I don't want to see anyone else fight Bud. I want to see them fight each other.
Okay, so caller, we got you on the line, man. What's going on with you?
What up? This T-Word. What's happening, fellas?
T, what's up?
Hey, I'm hanging in there. Been checking out the show in the chat. I want to throw in one point I feel like I couldn't put out there in the chat, and I want to get you guys' thoughts. It's along the lines of what you're saying. Talking about, a lot of people say if Errol Spence goes up to 154, he's not coming back down to 147. Here's the problem with that statement. Spence has to pass 154 to get down to 47. So he's not really coming up in weight to make 54. He's actually just going to stop shedding weight a little earlier so he can still come down. Jay, you've been a trainer. I'm a trainer. We both understand how physics work. That 7 pounds won't make that much of a difference if he's already conditioned to do 47, if he just does it for one fight. So I kind of want to debunk the myth that it doesn't work. Go ahead, guys.
No, that's a good point. I mean, especially for that, since it is 5 pounds. Key word is him. He's already training and being in the right condition. So that's point and take. That's a real point. Good point. Real good point.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that point. I understand what you're saying, that he's coming down past 154, and it's just a matter of I'm not going to continue to cut weight. So it's really, a situation where, hey, at the end, because I'm assuming that Errol Spence kind of dries himself out to get to 147 pounds. So what you basically saying is that he's not going to dehydrate himself. He's just going to stop just short of that and come in maybe at 150, 151, 152, something like that. So totally understand that. I guess my thing is the strain of the dehydration in those last few weeks of camp. Maybe that's something that he might not want to do anymore. It's not necessarily he can't get back down. It's more so, does he want to go back down?
Yeah.
So
agree.
I don't know. We'll see if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, if
I just want to kick out a point.
Yeah.
My bad. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to say, I think the only way he comes back down to 147 is if Terence Crawford agrees to the fight. Outside of that, he's not coming back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, fact. I just wanted to debunk the myth that it's not a can't, it's a not willing to type of thing. But he physically can if he chose to. It's the motivation. Bud got to be down there holding that belt saying, let's get it, for him to decide 47 is worth it one more time.
Yeah, and it might just be, hey,
but I'm
take this opportunity to I don't want to, definitely for Keith Thurman, I don't want to get down to 147. So maybe let me just take this opportunity to get a break from doing that, and I'll fight him here if they allow me to do it. Who knows, man? I mean, I don't know. We're going to drop a video tomorrow on the topic. We've already recorded a video, as a matter of fact, and it's interesting because the Thurman fight has not been announced yet. You got to start asking yourself why. But I appreciate you calling in, T. We're going to grab the next caller real quick, man.
For sure.
For sure.
Hey, appreciate it. Keep cooking, fellas. Peace.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Later. Hey, what's going on, man? You are on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building?
It's Terrence. Yeah, I spoke to y'all before.
Hey, what's going on?
Had a couple points to make.
Sure.
And my points are as followed. First of all, again, no one on the Errol Spence side has explained to me when Floyd Mayweather said the fight's not happening. How can we blame Bud? The fight when they announced that it was a couple weeks or later when he took the David fight. So I'm still not sure how they blame Bud. The gentleman, I think, are you still there?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So I think the gentleman said that he wants to see Bud in a 50-50 fight. Here's the issue with that. If you go down the line, whether it be the WBO, WBC, WBA, when you go down the line, there is no 50-50. This is how good this man is. And I mean, I'm sorry, I know Spence fans hate it, but the man is just so good, and the people consider him so good. There's no 50-50 fights. There's none. If you go to the betting markets, he'll be favorite in all of those fights. So this is why people get upset when Bud fights anybody except Errol, and even Errol, Bud is going to be favored in that fight. Bud is going to be favored in that fight. It's very hard for him to fight a 50-50 fight. Who's he going to fight? So people get upset. Everywhere he's been fighting, he's been a favorite, or at least a betting favorite. So it's hard for him to say that because he wants to see him in a 50-50 fight. You know, with a 50-50 fight, if they think, then why don't Errol take the fight? That's why he don't want to fight him, because this man is just regarded as such a talent that they don't want to fight him. And there's hardly no 50-50 fights. The other thing I would want to say is Bud can always exercise his super championship. I heard a few people saying, why doesn't he exercise? Well, why would he exercise it right now? Charles hurt, and Charles, I believe he has a mandatory coming up. Why would he exercise it now? Why not just stay at 147, collect money? If he can get a belt down there, that's great. But when Errol tries to move up, let's say he tries to unify those belts with Jamel, that's the time where he wants to exercise that super championship. It would be ridiculous for him to exercise it right now. Just sit on that and wait for Errol to try to move up and get that, you know? And the caller said something about Bud fighting Thurman. The reason they want Thurman to fight Bud is because what Thurman's going to do, and he already indicated what he's going to do. He's basically going to run the whole fight. And you guys know that when Bud fights anybody, that if Bud doesn't knock him down, they're going to, all Errol Spence and the Bud haters are going to give that person that round. When they gave, all of those folks were giving Thurman every round in that fight against Bud. But when I think Boxing Gym or someone broke down each round, you will see that Terence was dominating Porter that whole fight. But every Errol fan was going to give him that round. That's why they want him to fight Thurman. We know Thurman is a survivor, so he can run around, throw a couple punches, and try to win like that. So if he does win, it'll be a BS decision where he just ran the whole fight. If he has the stamina to do so. That's the reason I don't want him to fight Thurman, because Thurman's not going to stand there and fight. He's going to run the whole fight. We know what he's going to do. So that's my points. And that's all I gotta say.
Yo, I appreciate the call.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to stay on while we address your
Yeah,
comments?
go ahead. You can go ahead and debunk what I'm saying.
So Floyd Mayweather doesn't matter. What does Floyd Mayweather have to do with the fight now? At the end of the day, Terence Crawford is the one that's signing or not signing the contract, period. He didn't want the fight because he's saying that he didn't have the opportunity or the ability to actually approve expenses. The guy that Jason Williams said in the comment section was not a spelling bee champion or a grammar champion. So there's no way on God's green earth anybody's going to give Terence Crawford the ability to control the expenses associated with the fight, and therefore Floyd Mayweather knew the fight wasn't going to happen at that moment because of that situation. So regardless of what Floyd knew or didn't know, the point is, if Terence Crawford would have signed the contract would be signed, period. So that's how I view that particular point. Your second point was no 50-50 fights for Terence Crawford because he's just that damn good. How the hell do we know Terence Crawford is just that damn good? When you look at some of the best fighters on his resume, you're talking about Sean Porter, who was halfway retired. You're talking about Gamboa, who was small as shit when he moved up from super featherweight and featherweight and was already damn chinny. You're talking about Victor Postal, who was a guy that got all of his credibility by beating Matisse, who wasn't that good because, he had power. That's all he really had. So who is really on Terence Crawford's resume that we consider an actual good fighter, like a legitimately B plus A- fighter? I haven't seen one. So that is why people, all this 50-50 fight stuff, what people really mean by that is that they want to see him step up his level of competition. And right now, he has not stepped up his level of competition. He is quite content with fighting the David Avenezians of the world and making supposedly $10 million. And then finally, with the Keith Thurman comment, for me personally, I don't like the Keith Thurman fight. I don't want that fight to necessarily happen. And yeah, that's probably how Keith is going to try to win the fight. That's his best chance to win the fight. So I don't have a problem with that. And then the other point that you made in terms of Boxing Gym breaking down the fights, shout out to Boxing Gym. I like their stuff too, but at the point in which the fight ended, that was a close fight, regardless of what Boxing Gym broke down. So that it is what it is. Jay, I don't know if you want to comment on it as well. Jay, you have anything to say?
Man, you stole my thunder. But okay. I mean, one thing I do want to say as far as like saying that, you said Spence ran from Bud, right? That's what you said, Terrence?
I'm saying, yeah, he didn't want the fight.
But tell me this, how does he not want the fight when they're in negotiations and Bud left the negotiation? Not Spence, Bud left, pulled another fighter out of who already signed the fight in November.
I can explain to you why he didn't want the fight. He went on
the fight
podcast.
You said he didn't want the fight?
No, I can explain why. I can explain when I say Errol didn't want this fight why I'm saying that. Because Errol went on a Brian Custer show. And then when he was talking to Brian, and Brian said to him, "Oh, man, were you really serious about that 70-30, 80-20 stuff?" "Oh, nah, man, I was just joking. I was on my girl charm." So he said, listen, guys, he said that was a joke, right? He was just joking and it was BS. And then Brian was like, okay. So if that's the case, bro, why in a real negotiations you send a 65-35, which is close to 70-30, very, very close. You get no guaranteed. You weren't training during this negotiation. How is he serious about fighting him November the 19th? He knew or suspected, obviously, that Bud wasn't going to take that contract. Bud is being offered no guarantee. And this goes to Greg's point. He says about the expenses. I'll ask Greg, well, how much was Bud going to make that fight? Give me a figure. How much was he going to make? Under those negotiations, how much was Bud going to make, Greg? How much was he going to make? Tell me the figure. What was Bud going to make in that fight between Errol Spence and him? Based on that contract, how much was he going to make, Greg?
It all depends on what the pay-per-view numbers do. But let me pause and say this. Errol Spence was also not taking a guarantee. Why is that so conveniently forgotten? And Bud Crawford is getting a 65-35 split because do you know that over the life of their career, the balance of their career, we know that Errol Spence has sold close to 1 million pay-per-view buys. Terence Crawford has sold close to 300 or a little over 300,000. So if you look at the split, it should actually be worse. It should be more in favor of Errol Spence. So when I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I just want to stop you there. When did Showtime release those numbers telling us that what you're saying? Showtime released them? Did Showtime release those numbers?
Release them.
Did Fox release those numbers? I just want to know who released the numbers. Because if we're going to go by these numbers, I just want to know what the source is that you're getting these numbers from. Because there's right now, Canelo has lost a bunch of money because they're lying about his numbers. So I just want to know, how do you get those numbers? Are they official numbers from a source wherein if they tell those numbers, someone can get in trouble? Or these numbers where people can make up as they go? So I'm just trying to figure out, where did those numbers come from?
So those numbers typically are going to be released by specific journalists. We haven't seen a channel, HBO, Showtime, in a while release any pay-per-view numbers, official numbers. So we haven't seen that in quite some time, or the promoters. But let me ask you this. If those numbers aren't actual and factual, why is it that Terence Crawford agreed to a 65-35 split?
Because he wanted to fight. You heard him on there. He said, listen, I agreed to everything. I just want to fight. I'm going to beat his ass.
So hold on.
Why did he fight him? Why did he sign?
He beat his ass. He don't care.
So Terence Crawford. So hold up. So if he don't care and he'll just beat his ass and he just wanted to fight, then what the fuck is the problem with the expenses then? He shouldn't even care about how much expenses. Why do you need to?
He don't want to fight for free, Greg. He don't want to fight for free now. Come on.
Bro,
he don't want to fight for free.
Listen. These guys, when they go into negotiations, bro, they actually have the real numbers in front of them. Terence Crawford knows exactly how many pay-per-view buys Errol Spence did. You think they're going in there and negotiating blind? You think he just agreed to 65-35 because, I want to fight so bad that the actual pay-per-view numbers that they validated was really only supposed to show a 50-50 split. Yeah, I'm agreed to 65-35 because I'm just so damn excited about the fight. Like you just said, he ain't fight for free. So why would he get that money? Come on, bruh. Come on,
he said he agreed to everything, Terrence. He said he agreed to everything, but he didn't sign.
Everybody's going by the journalist. And Al does agree. I'm going to say this about the PBC. They've done a great job building themselves on these pay-per-view numbers. He's done an excellent job. Let's look at Al. Al built this empire on investors' money, right? That was the first pillar. He got investors' money. Then after that, he built that empire on Showtime and Fox. Still not putting his money in there, right? Still not putting. So he's done a great job of building that empire on other people's money. I agree with you. So the pay-per-view, that's just a pillar that he's used. And so we don't know any official numbers from those companies. If Bud doesn't want to use that, my argument, he doesn't have to, because he's probably just going to believe the journalists too. I don't. Because we see that these numbers are bogus and how much Gazin has lost on Canelo. So we don't know what these numbers are. If Brad wants to accept those numbers, which maybe he has, maybe he does, but he doesn't want to fight for free, guys. And y'all shouldn't make him fight for free, because that's what you guys are asking.
Bud said he damn near would fight for free on one of his interviews, interviews on IG. He actually said something like that. But also said he agreed to everything in the negotiations. So why the hell didn't he sign? If you agreed to do it, then there's nothing else to discuss. Just sign the paper and get in the ring. Because he said he was so confident in his skills he could beat Spence. So he agreed to he said he agreed to everything, but he didn't sign. I don't understand that.
Right? You want him to fight for free, though.
He said he agreed, though, Terrence.
He misspoke about the expenses. So
now he misspoke.
Fighting for free. That's why, even if he misspoke, Jay, you got to say that's a decent reason for him not wanting to take this fight. Just give me the expense. And he's not saying every expense. That's another thing is bogus. He didn't say every expense he wants to.
He said he agreed to everything, though. Everything. He said this, not us.
Hey, Terrence, man, I actually really appreciate you calling in, bro. But we got some other folks calling in. But it's we appreciate you calling in.
Let's just hope they beat the fight, Terrence.
Yeah, I'm gonna grill y'all every time. I'm on it.
Well, we appreciate that,
bro. Thank you for the call.
All right, you're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, man, that was Terrence, man. I totally disagree with what he's saying.
But Crawford, though.
Hello. This is the Angry Man Podcast. You are on live with Jason and Greg. Who do we got in the building?
This is Kareem Elliott.
Hey, what's going on, Kareem?
What's going on, Kareem?
What's going on, man? Just calling in. Salute to the brothers. Yeah. Am I still on?
There? Yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
we
hear you.
My bad. Yeah, salute to the brothers, man. I'm just trying to figure out what lab are these guys being grown in.
Say that. Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
what lab are these guys being grown in? Because they're popping out of the woodwork with this bud stuff. This guy started talking about stuff that he heard. I think he may have heard that stuff from Blue Blood TV.
Oh, you heard it from Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is everything that you hear coming out of a Terence Crawford fan's mouth came from Terence Crawford. That's why it sounds the way it does.
Blue just did a video talking about something. It was something that brother said. I can't quite remember it right now, but he said something, and Blue said it just the other day, and I'm like, okay, they're leaking stuff, and then these people are jumping on here and all these sites bashing him, trying to make up excuses for Terence Crawford not getting this, not getting that. When Terence Crawford said he agreed to all this stuff, it's wild.
Exactly. You can't make up some of this stuff. Who's this? He's on here saying who's to say that the numbers are real, as though Terence Crawford is going to go to the negotiation table and just take a 65-35 split based on the word of the PBC, who supposedly are liars and lying about pay-per-view numbers. It doesn't make any sense.
Greg, everyone lies but Bud.
These guys are popping up out of the woodworks with all types of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good, man. It's an open. Here's the thing, man. When people are fans of specific fighters, sometimes the rationale goes out of the window. And from what I've seen from Terence Crawford fans, their rationale is going out the window. And not only that, I think they've become so desperate to find things that they can hold against Errol Spence. They start to grab for things out of the thin blue air. Errol Spence can text about, hey man, those Dallas Cowboys, man, they ain't looking good. Oh, he's saying that he gonna duck Terence Crawford. He's scared of, it's just like anything they pulling from, like what are you talking about? So I mean, it is what it is right now, and it's entertaining to me as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically that's what it comes down to, entertainment. I sit back and I watch the shows, multiple shows for Nine, you guys. Monty's from my neighborhood, from Philly.
Oh, okay.
Got a little bit of stuff in my throat. But yeah, he's from my neighborhood. He's from Philly. And so I sit back and I watch. I never really jump on. I just so happen to see the number up there and listening to the stuff that guy was talking about, man. I was like, he triggered me to call in. I don't even call in. He triggered me to call in.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. Well, no, I appreciate you calling in.
The stuff that the guys on For Nine show brings up. I hear the stuff that the guys that you guys pull in bring up. And it's like, these guys are bugged out or something, man. This guy didn't take the fight. He took another fight. And here we are all this time later, and they're still doing this. This is like way back when this stuff first started with the negotiations. So all the way now, after the conclusion of this guy not taking this fight, making a whole video of the reason why he didn't take the fight, and they're still doing it. Hey, wow. I don't know what they got going on at their homes or in their mind, but it's crazy. It's real crazy.
Too funny.
Yeah, man. No, it is. It truly is. Anything else you want to share with the people?
No, that's just about it. You've got a really good show. Checking all the time, support. And I got my monster up here howling at me about being done. You go ahead and say for us to share and watch. Appreciate you, brothers. Salute.
All right.
Appreciate you, Kareem.
Man. Have a good one. Hey, you are on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg, but give me 1 second to address the folks in the building. We got 187 people in the building, 123 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. And if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure that you engage with the content. It helps others find this content on YouTube. And while you're at it, there's a little icon on the right-hand side, lower right-hand side of the screen. It's the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We are always dropping content on a daily basis. You can go check out the truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, documentary style video where we're covering the timeline of events related to these two individuals. And then also the Mic Check podcast, the Boxing Source. Go check them out. They're like sister channels to us. They're always on our stuff. We're on their stuff. Go check them out. All right, man. Who we got in the building, bro?
This is Rockman Salahuddin.
Oh, man. We got him in the building.
We got him. I finally reeled him in. What's up, man?
What's up with y'all? Like, I need to know this. Just one question at a time.
Yeah.
What excuses Spence fans from the delusion, the same delusion that y'all accuse Crawford fans of. And I'm not saying, hold on, I'm not saying a lot of Crawford fans don't have delusion, because there's a lot of channels I subscribe to, and I can't even watch them because they leaning too much towards Crawford. They saying dumb shit. You know what I mean? It's entertaining. Some of them are entertaining, so I watch it because they're entertaining. But when I want facts, you know what I'm saying? I gotta watch both sides and draw a conclusion from it between, as well as gather my information from actual news reports from the fighters, you know, from what's going on in the ranking system. But just back to that question, what excuses you guys, especially you guys, you know what I mean? What excuses y'all for that delusion? Y'all don't think y'all delusional either?
Help me understand what we're delusional about, and I'll tell you whether or not I feel we're delusional.
All right. The only thing I'm gonna go in the past about is I don't like going in the past. The past is the past. The fight didn't happen. But from what I understand, Crawford and PBC started speaking around the summertime. And they finally sent them a draft August 24th. He agreed to everything by the time the week before Shakur Stevenson's fight.
Okay.
And he didn't get a draft, well, a final draft until the first or second week of October.
Okay.
And that draft, you know what I'm saying? That's what I got. You know what I mean? Okay. And he told, I mean, from his words, all I could do, despite how everybody say he lied, he contradicted, blah. If the man said that he told PBC that he has to fight this year, he has to fight this year. You know what I mean? Fine. And I'm gonna take him on his word for that. If Spence has said that, you know what I mean? I'll be like, fine. I'm not gonna assassinate this man's character, you know what I mean, and say he just ducked and stuff like that, blah blah, because he said he wants to take a fight this year after he's seen, and especially after he's seen the contract was for February of next year.
Okay. So Rodman, help me understand this. If you saw that the contract was for February of next year, and you know you wanted to fight this year, why wouldn't you just circle back to the guys and say, hey, I need to fight in February, in 2022. November, yeah. Hey, what can we negotiate that will allow me to fight in this? I'll sign the contract. I have no problem with signing the contract, but I need to get a fight in this year in December, right? And then we'll move on and we'll talk about the fight maybe in March or April. What prevents him from doing that?
I don't think anything prevents him from doing that. And just a bit of deflection. Steven Espinoza himself said that it's quite common practice that contracts are not signed until the week of the night of the fight. So that means that offer sheet, whatever the heck it was, is still withstanding, you know, if they want to go ahead and revisit that. After the fight with David Avenija, I ain't gonna do that to that man. David Avenija, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna respect the man because he get in the ring and I don't. Just like I drive trucks, I expect you to respect me, you know, for what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna respect that man. So after the fight, after his little vacation, or during his little vacation, he said, I'm waiting for you to spin the block again. And they didn't spin the block.
Well,
so I mean, like that's where we gotta sober up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, all right, PBC has a plan. We heard in that phone call that Al Heyman, this phone call was revealed to have happened around the time Spence had took his children to Disney, right?
I know what you're talking about.
So because he referenced he just went to Disney, and he said that Al Heyman was still offering them Thurman fight, and was telling him he could get Thurman in January. And he said no, and then he said, "I'll tell him, all right, you were Crawford by January." You know what I mean? So we already know Keith Thurman was in the plan. WBC already put him up there. You know what I'm saying? To be in the plan. So, all right, I'm gonna let you know. I'm not even upset about that. I'm not upset about. I find it funny. Like you can't tell what my emotions are when I'm typing. I just find it funny that they go to 154 with no belt on the line. It's just like, to me, it's laughable. But it's just another thing that happens in boxing. It will never happen in no other sport.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So if Terence Crawford would have signed on the dotted line or agreed to the terms, would Keith Thurman even been considered for January, even in 2023?
Oh no, I doubt it would have. I do believe though that PBC, just my side note, to that, you know, I got a side note, the footnote to it. I believe the PBC gave Crawford the worst possible deal. You know, all right, let's justify your 65-35 because of pay-per-view sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just eliminate the fact that he's two-top lineal, pound for pound. He's a pound for pound number one. Two-top lineal, 3 divisions. All that comes up with you. You don't just factor in pay-per-view sales when you offer in a fighter a purse.
No, this is where I completely
you don't just factor in that stuff. You don't just factor in stuff like that when you offer the fighter a purse.
No.
Because obviously they didn't do it with any of Smith's other opponents.
Right. This is where I completely disagree with you. When you start talking about the entertainment business, this is completely different from if you and I. You say you drive a truck, I work in finance. This is completely different from the experience that we bring, the whatever amount of years experience you have, and whatever amount of years experience I have. That's what we bring to the table, and that's what we get paid based off of. When you're in the entertainment field, you get paid based off of the cheeks and asses that you put in seats. You sound a little bit like Monique there. You sound like Monique that you should be paid based off of your damn accolades.
No, I'm not saying that. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, so what are you saying? Because you talking about him being
I'm
a linear champion and all that shit. That don't matter.
Along with cheeks in the seats, as you put it, this is boxing. This is entertainment, but at the same time, it's a sport. Okay. And I mean, you saying that it's strictly on cheeks in the seats is a total contradiction to what we've seen Spence opponents got as far as purse splits in the past. None of Spence opponents got that a 65-30. We're not even going to talk about no guarantee. But if we do talk about no guarantee, just think about it. Everybody's been coming out that even Wilder came out that these guys are not getting paid till next month to 6 months. And you want to take 35% of the back end or the toughest fight of his life and wait 6 months for that goddamn money. Man, are you serious? Like, think about that.
Okay, so it's not 6 months.
Nobody would do that.
Hold on. Number one is not 6 months. What Deontay Wilder was talking about. Number one, he wasn't necessarily.
You know more than Adrian Broner and Deontay Wilder.
Let me state, because what you're doing is you're misstating exactly what it is that they're talking about. Number one, Wilder said, I don't think he said 6 months. I think he actually said a month, like 4 or 5 weeks. If you're getting paid
I'll go back to the
if you're getting paid off of pay-per-view buys, then yes, because they're going to have to tally up the pay-per-view buys before you actually get paid. Of course,
that applies to the situation because he was getting the net he was getting 35% of the net. That means they gotta calculate the sales. They gotta calculate everything that came out before he even touched a possible advance.
So, your point is what? You're getting paid for putting
for a combat sport.
So let me ask you
combat sport.
Let me ask you this: Was Errol Spence not under the same situation? No guarantee with a 65-35 split.
I'm pretty sure. He's not getting paid no quicker. With Errol Spence, Man Down Promotions, and being with TGB, there would have been some type of kickback for him. Like you said, they'll take care of their own. They're gonna take care of their own. He would have got some type of kickback before his money came in.
How is that supposed to? So already they had, in any of these fights, Rockman, they have a full accounting of the expenditures and revenues associated with the fight, bruh. You just can't just have a kickback out of the blue that Terence Crawford won't know about. Come on, bruh.
Well, how the network's gonna get paid? The networks ain't waiting. They got live date. They got a live date that comes right in.
The networks take theirs on the front end. The fighters and the promoters get paid on the back end.
Would have got? You know all these tickets are resold, right? Listen, we talk about entertainment industry. Most of those tickets are resold. You know how many tickets would have been accounted for Man Down Promotions?
How many tickets?
No, we don't know that.
For Man Down Promotions?
We don't know that. That's those things I'm talking at concessions. Come on, but I don't even want to go down that aisle. What I want, I'm sorry. Let me just finish, and you can rebut everything I said. That's all I got to say about the past. But the main thing I'm focusing on is it's rumored that that rumor ain't come out of nowhere. Tom Brown went to the WBC and asked for permission to fight Keith Thurman, for Errol Spence to fight Keith Thurman at 154.
Yeah, that was after everything fell through.
So it's safe to say that they're going to fight. All right. What my question to you is, what do you with Crawford got a mandatory coming up in April or May? What do you expect Crawford to do If it's projected mandatory, it's Rocha.
It's Rocha. That's who he's going to fight.
That's his projected. So I'm seeing videos of y'all criticizing that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody ever wants to see a mandatory. But you got to do it. And if he lines that fight up, if he jumps ahead of the WBO and say, "Listen here, I believe they would have to wait until Stanionis and Ortiz fight to make sure that he's out the way. They have to wait for Keith Thurman and Errol Spence to be announced and make sure he's out the way to have enough evidence to say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make this fight with Rocha around the same time that Spence fights Thurman, so that hopefully, and I don't think the fight going to happen, to tell the truth, hopefully they'll be lined up to fight each other. I don't agree with Oscar De La Hoya talking about Virgil Ortiz right now because, that'll be just a regular, but that will be a unification, but that'll just be a regular. Everybody wants to see Spence and Crawford. So, I'm with everybody on that. But I just think everybody just needs to sober up with the criticism of Crawford, with the criticism of Spence. You know what I mean?
Hey, anything else you want to share with the people, Rock Man? Before you go, I want to say one thing to you. But anything else you want to share?
Like, subscribe. Hate, like, subscribe. I encourage y'all to hate this channel. Now I'm just playing, but
you love to hate this channel.
They all right. You know what I'm saying?
Rock,
I mean, I would say y'all Spence fanatics. Y'all like Spence fanatics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all not all the way in with it. But I don't begrudge y'all for getting y'all coin or for Terence Crawford name because it's the hottest name on YouTube. So you got to put him in your title like every day. And I'm going to be up in your comments every day saying, yo, look what y'all doing. Y'all making money off of Crawford. That's it.
Hey, so before you go, bro, I want to say thank you for supporting the channel. I've seen you in the comments section for like months and months and months and months. You and I go back and forth in the comment section. So I do appreciate it, even though you and I do not agree on any of this shit relative to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. I do agree. I do appreciate you coming on the show and supporting the channel, bro.
Most definitely. Y'all have a good Sunday.
All right, you too, man. Well, peace. All right, man. We got you in the building, man. 224. You on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's going on with you, man? Who we got in the building?
Nibber White from Chicago, Illinois. I appreciate you letting me in. It's the first time that you guys heard great things about you guys. 45 years old. I've been checking boxing out for maybe 30 years with my father. The thing I've noticed about a lot of people is that they don't have accountability when it comes to, more like say Terence Crawford fans don't have accountability to his decision making or people who handle him. So it's always an excuse now. Okay, Errol Spence may have a few here and there, but Errol Spence, if you look at his welterweight resume, he's fought anybody you put in front of him. Now, I think that if Crawford really wanted to fight him, he would. I don't think it's going to go as easy as the guys he has lined up previous to trying to fight Spence. You look at Porter, you look at Brooks, you look at the guys he fought, and you look at Spence. This is the first time he has a real challenge of losing and could be stopped. Like, you know what I mean? And I think the fight could be made, but I don't think it will. Another thing I want to piggyback on, Al Heyman has put on some of the biggest fights in boxing history the last 10, 15 years. He gave us Wilder Fury 3 times. He gave us Canelo and Floyd. He gave us a lot of great fights. So why all of a sudden now, when it's time to negotiate with Terence Crawford, he's a bad businessman? So help me out with that. Like, you know, where is it at? Like, if you agreed to everything, or if you knew that you even wanted to fight in December, taking the David Avenesian guy fight, why wouldn't you say something to him? I mean, realistically, we probably won't get the fight because Heyman's not going to come back to the board and fight him. I mean, negotiate with him after doing bad business and bad faith. So that's another hang up. You can't go to Jamel Charlo because you have to negotiate with Al Heyman as well. So you're going to go to Oscar De La Hoya, who has a reputation of not doing well with black fighters. Rashidi Ellis beat Rocha. Like, what are we doing here? Like, could somebody call him out or at least hold him accountable? I'm not picking on him, just holding him accountable to the nonsense he's doing.
They won't do it.
That's what we try to do.
Don't do that.
try to hold him accountable to the nonsense. I mean, he's looking for somebody in Oscar De La Hoya that's going to continue to give him guarantees for asses that he don't put in seats. And at the end of the day, when you're in the entertainment business, that's what you get paid off of. Doesn't matter if you're a linear champion. Doesn't matter if you're undisputed at another weight class. None of that shit matters. All that matters is who comes to check you out, right? So you can be the shittiest boxer in the, I mean, Jeff, what's the kid name? Shit, his name is escaping me now. The shitty ass kid that is doing all the little MMA type boxing fight. Jake Paul. I mean, he's putting asses in seats, so he's gonna get paid accordingly. Doesn't matter how good he is. And a lot of these boxers are upset because he's getting paid like that. But you got to put asses in seats. I don't care if you're in whatever combat sport you're in. The whole point is it's entertainment. So if you're not entertaining to the level or a satisfactory level, then you're not going to get paid like that. And that is the whole point.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'm definitely going to subscribe and lock in with you guys every time you come on.
What was your name again, bro?
Yeah.
What was your name again?
Say it again. Nibber White.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, bro.
All right, man. I'll continue supporting you guys. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Jay, we appreciate the donation, my man.
Absolutely. Great show. Love the healthy debate. One thing we can all agree on is we want to see great fights. Absolutely,
That's
bro.
all we want.
And that's why I said, man, this is a community for everybody to come in and talk, bro. Like, if you agree with us or not, I don't really care. I want to hear everybody talking. One second, man. Well, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and pause here real quick. We got 205 people in the building, 151 likes. If you haven't had the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button. But it helps people find this content when you engage. Also, there's a little icon in the right-hand side. Hit the subscribe button. We are always dropping content. One of our most recent videos was the truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. 35 minutes of entertainment. I think you guys will enjoy it. So who do we have in the building right now, man?
What's going on, man? It's CJ. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, bro? We calling from New York.
I'm calling from Brooklyn, man.
Yeah, 347. That's what's going on with you?
How y'all doing, man? We gonna bump heads a little bit, respectfully though.
Let's do it.
I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this because I'm gonna tell y'all, bro. You know, it's crazy how we can all see things two totally different ways. First thing I'm gonna let you get in, but I'm gonna go with facts.
Okay.
There's nowhere in the world that you can't say a resume does not affect style. I'm in the music business. Listen, bro. If you got a Grammy, you feel me? If you got a cashman, now you talking about how much you sold, but it's about resume too, man. There's nowhere that you can back up what you're saying. I'm gonna give you a couple points with Errol Spence. Okay, number one, when Errol Spence fought Sean Porter had no resume of putting no cheeks in seats, right? Sean Porter got a guarantee, and Sean Porter got 40-60, right? We talk about you guys. Tell me who you're for. What cheeks he put in seats, right? Let's keep going. We go another step, and I would say to you, okay, listen. When Crawford was getting ready to fight Sean Porter, who was just a mandatory, he had 2 losses. He had no kind of what do you want to call it? Had no kind of resume in terms of pay-per-view. But what happened? Let me tell you what fans did. Spence fans. Let me just say this, bro. Spence fans said this. Oh man, Crawford and Aaron low balling him. They only want to give him 1.5, 1.72 million. Oh, they low balling this kid because they ducking him. Right? Okay. It was the same people saying that. So then all of a sudden, Crawford gives Sean Porter, I forget what it is, exact number, but the biggest pay that he's ever gotten, right? Give him 60-40, knocked his head off in front of the world, and now they're going to come back months later and talk about, oh, it don't matter. If you can get somebody who has 2 losses, no cheeks in the seats, cry about that and say he deserved more than he's getting, and he get that money, you can't say a 2-time lineal, 2-time Ring Magazine, undefeated, WBO champion, 3-time fight of the year. You feel me? And number 1 pound for pound can't get it. Come on, bro. That's where we be looking like Crawford fans are going too far. We're not going too far. I'm just saying, keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. So important don't even have a belt. So go ahead. I'm done. I want to hear the rebuttal to it, family.
Okay, so number one, resume impact. Explain Monique. Because Monique had an Oscar. Monique had this. Monique had all this resume, but Monique still wasn't getting paid. I get where you're going. I get where you.
Okay, I cannot speak on just Monique. I don't mean to cut you off. But Monique, first of all, Monique happens to be in the industry. Monique happens to be a person that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So we can't use Monique. You see what I'm saying? You and I both know. I happen to know a little bit more on that. Monique happened to be I'm going against the grain against everybody. She done rubbed a lot of people wrong, and that's the reason why she's not getting paid. Give me somebody else. Crawford is likable. We say we made this agenda like Crawford can't get along and do contracts. He done did a contract with Baumgarnder, right? He done did it. He's sitting down with Golden Boy. He done did it with BLK Prime, but all of a sudden, PBC, he can't get it done. We never hold out, from my eyes, we don't hold Errol Spence responsible. Because look, Errol Spence, when he had one belt, if I chase you around for 5 years, 6 years, I'm knocking on your door. Hey, come outside. And you like, oh, man, I ain't coming outside. You ain't ready to fight. You ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing. I'm already a 3-division champion. Errol Spence had one belt. But we don't talk about that. And listen, I like Errol Spence. But the truth gonna be the truth. Errol Spence had opportunities when he looked him in the eye to say, bro, when Crawford came to welterweight, he was bigger than Errol Spence was as a boxer. PBC, there's nothing Crawford can do to line up those fighters that are all PBC. What can he do? So Errol Spence went from 1 to 3 belts because of PBC.
So do
you agree with that or disagree?
He want to call it PBC.
Let's talk about a few different things.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be shouting, bro, but people are talking outside. Go ahead. I'm gonna bring it down, and I want to hear you, bro.
No. I'm not anything you're saying at all.
Okay, go ahead.
So number one, so you're talking about the resumes and all that other shit. So you got Beyonce, I'm just gonna throw out a name, T.I. They decide to do a concert together. They're going to all the same buildings. Who's gonna get paid? Who's gonna get paid the biggest split?
Beyonce.
Exactly, because she puts cheeks in seats, bro.
Different story.
But she puts cheeks in seats. That's the point. The point. She
has a better resume, and she puts cheeks in the seats.
Bro, it doesn't matter. Whoever put it, whoever.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So who? Jay, what's another rapper that got a whole bunch of fucking plaques but don't put asses in seats right now? Master P. Master P that sold $300 million or 300 million records. If he goes on tour with T.I. right now, who's getting the bigger split? And Master P accolades is way higher. Who's getting the bigger split?
That is a great point, but here's the thing: Master P is not relevant right now.
Exactly, and Terence Crawford is not relevant in terms of putting asses in seats.
Right, so that's the point. We just established who's the hottest name on YouTube. Who got the biggest knockout? Who's ranked the number one welterweight right now?
So if he's hold on, if he's
on welterweight with one belt, with that resume,
if he's the hottest name in boxing, he's the hottest name because he's tied to Errol Spence. And if he's the hottest name in boxing, why isn't he selling on his own?
Listen, bro. That can work. Listen, that works with people who don't watch it. Go back. Listen, go back and tell me how much Errol Spence made when he fought. You can go back and say how much he made when Crawford was sitting there and he fought Gamboa. He was making 4 or 5 times the amount of money that Errol Spence was making.
Bro, we got it. You're jumping all over the place, and before
I'm not jumping. What I'm saying to you is this: how is he not relevant when Errol Spence was fighting for $300,000? Terence Crawford was getting $2 million. But you're trying to paint it like he just came on the scene off of Crawford. He was on
the Whenever you were getting money, it doesn't matter if you were getting money a year or 2 or 3 years ago. You were getting $2 or $3 million. The point is today you're not the hottest name, and the only reason your name is hot. First of all, we already know that Bob Arum was losing money on this cat. That's number one. Terence Crawford was not a big name in boxing at all until he got to welterweight and his name got tied to Errol Spence Jr.
All right. So listen, let's just listen. I'm hearing you out, but listen to this. That's a lie, bro. It's a lie.
What?
Listen. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lie. Here's the point. The only reason that this happened is because people on YouTube, if we gonna say on YouTube, when we talking about in the boxing world, everybody knew Terence Crawford. If we talking about social media and YouTube, casual fans, then okay, you have a point. You can't say, listen to this, let me finish. You can't say you're a boxing fan and he was the fighter of the year and you say he was irrelevant. You can't say you're a boxing fan and he was #1 pound for pound and he's irrelevant. That makes no sense.
Let me ask you a question. Bro. But you know
what I'm saying. If you're a boxing fan, you can't say that. If you're a casual fan, you can say that.
Bro,
you get my point?
Who are you just made the point for us? The fucking the people who are hardcore boxing fans do not drive ticket sales. It's those same casuals you're talking about. And Terence Crawford was the one guy. Hold on. I let you talk.
What I'm saying is, wait, bro. I'm not arguing ticket sales. I'm not arguing ticket sales. Hell, I'm not arguing that. Bernard Hopkins with ticket sales. I'm not talking about, Andre Ward. I'm not talking about that. Not everybody gonna be a Floyd Mayweather. Not everybody cheats in the seat. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is what you just said. He was irrelevant. That is nonsense,
when I said
bro.
Irrelevant, but you gotta let me finish, bro.
You can't say the #1 pound for pound fighter in a sport is irrelevant.
You gotta let me finish my points.
And you gotta finish my point as well.
You gotta let me finish my point.
I'm not arguing, family, but I'm saying the way you said that sounds crazy. Because that would be like me saying Tim Duncan. Wait, hold on. That's like me saying Tim Duncan was the #1 player. He was an MVP in the league, but the Spurs don't really sell out the stadium. Tim Duncan is irrelevant in the sport, and he's only attached to Shaq. That's what you said to me. In my mind. If you pick that up, then I can go with you. I understand the chips in the seats. I'm not arguing. Errol got he got a fan base behind him. People like him. He sells. My only question to you is, how can you keep discrediting a dude who was there before Spence got it?
So
come on, bro.
47?
Are you gonna let me finish my point?
I'm not going to say another word, bro. That's all I wanted to say.
So you gotta if you would have let me finish my point, you would have heard exactly where I was going, which was
my fault, family.
I'm saying he is irrelevant when it comes to generating revenue. I don't care if he's the hottest name on YouTube. I don't care if when you're comparing
you just said that. You right. You just said it. You don't care. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't get paid. He's going to get paid based off of. That's all I wanted you to say. You don't care. What about
we gotta talk, though.
Fans that care? What about us that care that Andre Ward was nice and he couldn't sell? What about us that care that Bernard Hopkins is nice and he didn't care? So you think he should get 30% just because he don't wear a chain and come in there talking about?
I think he should get 30% because that's what he generates. He should get 30% because that's what he generates. That's what he should get. Bro. Yes.
Listen. You can elevate it how you want to elevate it. The bottom line still the bottom line. If you say
the bottom line is you're actually wrong in this case.
If you say he wasn't relevant until Errol Spence, you are wilding. You are wilding, bro.
Jason, is that the argument that I'm making? Jason, is that the argument that I'm making?
That's not the argument. See,
no.
You're not letting neither one of us talk.
I can't get a point off edgewise because you keep talking, bro. So how am I going? How you gonna keep jumping in saying let me finish when you're not letting me finish?
All I'm saying is I just want you to retract. Just for the people listening, just say this. I won't say another word. For the people listening, I want you to say, bro, it's just my opinion that sales is the most important thing in boxing. That's your physical opinion, personal.
No, I would not say that because the most important thing. So it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about negotiations, sales is the most important thing. Period.
Okay, so let me have one question. I'm not going to say nothing else. Why you guys got 50-50 and a guarantee? Go ahead.
Why what?
I didn't catch the.
Why did you guys, when he just fought Spence, why did he get a guarantee? Why did he get the money he got? And why did he get the purse split he got? And tell me why Terence Crawford deserved less than that. Tell me why Sean Porter, who never did a pay-per-view, got money, and Terence Crawford shouldn't. I'm not going to say nothing.
So number one, you got to understand the particulars of whatever negotiation that they have for Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. My assumption is this, and what we've heard is that a guarantee was actually on the table that Terence Crawford wouldn't accept. So they flipped back to no guarantee, but a bigger cut on the back end. That is why you're trying to compare apples and oranges, because all these damn negotiations are unique within themselves. So you can't just simply say this guy got this split and this guy got that split and this guy got that. That's impossible to do. It's apples and oranges. So you got anything else you want to share with the people?
So what you just said, let me just understand it. I'm not talking about, I'm gonna let you hear. What you just said to me was that each negotiation is different. And just because Sean Porter did not put cheats in the sheet, I just stop me when I'm wrong. Just because he didn't put cheats in the sheet, as you say, that he still, because the negotiation was different, he could have got 40%, and Errol took 60%, and he got a guarantee. And because the negotiation is different with Terence Crawford, and he's 4 times more acclaimed than he is, that he could get less of the guarantee. Did Sean Porter get 35%? Tell me, name me one person that Errol fought whatever time that he got less than 40%. Anyone? Name one. Just one person.
I can't go back and tell you the percentage split because I don't know. But I know. Here's what I do know.
Listen, what I'm saying is this. That's a fair. You know what you just said, bro? That's respectable. And we argue with sports. I have utmost respect for you as men. I don't want to, get it what I'm just saying this. We can't name one person in Errol Spence's whole entire career that he's ever given 35% for. When Errol Spence didn't have a name and he fought Kell Brooks, you can look it up and see what Errol Spence got. This is unheard of.
Let me say this
one thing and I'm done. If Kell Brooks was still champion, your boy would have jumped over a fence. We'll give you 45, 50, just like he jumped on you guys to make the fight, right? So when you say Terence Crawford is a duck, I gotta ask you, how come for 5, 6 years, how many times you gotta press him? How many times with Errol Spence that it ain't time yet, wrong side of the street? He dropped it. He got a contract saying in the Bob Arum, listen, bro, if you don't get me to fight every year, you gonna have to give me $1 million. So he pursuing it. He didn't leave Bob Arum, right? He comes to the table. What do you want him to do when PBC got all the welterweight fighters?
Can I ask you a question?
What would you want him to do?
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
And then I'm going to get other people.
If Terence Crawford is wrong, I'm going to say it, bro. I'm not a fanatic. I'm just fanatic about being equal.
Gotcha.
The same energy on both sides. So there's a lot of things I hold Terence Crawford wrong for, but this is not one of them.
I'm going to say this last thing. I'm going to say this last thing, and then we got to move on to the next call.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time. Go ahead, bro.
Terence Crawford is a quote unquote boss. Terence Crawford is coming to the negotiation table with his company. In standard practice, right? Who's going to be putting up the money? Because the standard practice is for the promoter to front the money. And that's why I go back to the comments that Floyd Mayweather made in the past, is that if you ain't got $2 or $3 million, $4 million to put up in front, then you just assemble. So really what he is a free agent coming to the table. He wants a guarantee, but yet he's coming to the table like he's a boss trying to control the negotiations. That is a part of the issue that we've always had. So listen, man, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you calling, bro. It was a really lively debate. I appreciate that, man. I enjoyed that, bro.
I appreciate your time, bro. And excuse me, like I said, I'm yelling people in the background. I appreciate, I respect everybody's opinion as men. All I'm saying is, bro, you gotta get facts behind it, bro. You can't just say he's that. If you can't find another person at 35%, then say Errol Spence deserves to give him 40.
Hey,
bro.
listen.
That's all I'm saying.
I personally, I don't care for whether it was a 60-40 split or a 55-45 split. He's going to get the lower end of the split, period. And
I agree.
Let me finish.
I agree.
Let me finish. At the end of the day, he said he agreed to 65-35 split, which tells me that the numbers behind it supported it.
Okay, let me ask you one question. I'm off, bro. Do you think Terence Crawford, with all his accolades, deserves 65-35? That's Sean Porter got 60-40 and you got 50-50? Do you believe that?
I think the fight probably should have been around. I think the fight should have been, and we've said this in prior videos, Jason. We thought the fight would come in somewhere around 60-40 40 or 55-45, but it's only because but we never thought the numbers actually supported that, period. I always thought that Errol Spence would have to supplement him to some degree. But at the same time, the 65-35 probably end up making sense. Also, you're talking about Sean Porter actually being a part of the PBC. Terence Crawford is not. He had the opportunity to do so, and he chose not to.
Putting up no risk. He's putting up nothing.
We gotta leave it. We gotta leave it there, bro. But I appreciate you calling very much in, man. Time, man. All right, appreciate you, man. Love.
Appreciate it.
Boy, that was a lively debate right there, Jason. Woo.
Man, you see, I didn't even say nothing. I ain't say nothing. You barely said something too.
All right, man. Yo, you on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Boy, we on fire today. Man, we over 2 hours, bro. We ain't normally over 2 hours like this. But hold up, Carl, I'm sorry. Let's give me one opportunity to say we got 234 people in the building, 172 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure that you engage. We have an icon in the lower right-hand side of the screen. Press that button so that you can become a subscriber of the channel. We are always dropping content on a daily basis. Go check out the truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That's a pretty good documentary, so I hear. And while you're at it, go check out the Mic Check podcast and the Boxing Source. Who do we have on the line, bro?
What's up, yo? This Carl Brown, Greg.
What's going on, Carl Brown?
What's going on, Carl?
It was good, man. Look, that last caller, man. Oh man, that dude was just saying the whole. I mean, I get where he was coming from. He was talking about the Terence Crawford accolades and everything like that. Mm-hmm. The thing that I ain't get about what he's talking about was Errol Spence supposed to have been a nobody when Terence Crawford was a somebody. That's basically how he's putting it. Errol Spence was the nobody when Terence Crawford was somebody.
And that's irrelevant.
They got to understand, Terence Crawford got about like 11 more fights than Errol Spence do. We get that. Terence Crawford, he wasn't even smoking then. When Errol Spence was coming up, Terence Crawford wasn't smoking it. He was on a pound for pound list. He was smoking on ESPN. That was day hottest. He wasn't around boxing the way he is right now. Everybody see that he been using Errol Spence's name to get bigger.
Absolutely.
If anybody in the chat or Terence Crawford fan, Errol Spence fan, if they can't see that, then you know what I mean, they fronting. Because I heard of Terence Crawford when he had a dream. Yeah, I heard of him, but I wasn't a big fan of him. When Errol Spence jumped on the scene from the rip, I was like, dang, I like this dude. I'm like, I like the way he fights. Even though everybody we all see is similar today, but he was sharpening everything up now. But anyway, that ain't what I really want to talk about. Everybody keep on missing the fact that when Sean Porter and Terence Crawford fought, after Sean Porter and Terence Crawford fought, from that moment, right then and there, Terence Crawford knew that he could go start up another fight. Errol Spence told people before he fought Dennis Ugas that negotiations been started. So that means right after that Sean Porter fight, that they was talking to Terence Crawford. Derrick James said the same old thing. A lot of people they're gonna look over this part. But anyway, Terence Crawford could have fought anybody from the time when the Sean Porter fight ended, all the way up. And then everybody keep on going with August because they want the people that's lying for Errol Spence. Terence Crawford fans want us to believe that the first contract was sent to Terence Crawford in August. That was the last contract. And that's where everything was falling apart. That was the last, their third go around with Terence Crawford. Now, and that's clear to see. Everybody know that. Because if it was 3 contracts, sent out to Terence Crawford, which everybody know now. Everybody know it was 3 contracts. August, which one was that one? Because they can't say it's the first one. They can't say it's the second one. And when the PBC had time in between August until the time that Terence Crawford said that he was fighting David Avenizia. When did they have a time? When did we hear anything in the media, anything that they sent another one? No, that was the last one. So if it was 3 that we all know about, from like I said, from the time Terence Crawford fought Sean Porter, which was November 2021. Errol Spence fought Udanis Ugas April 16, 2022. But Terence Crawford had all that time, even before Errol Spence had a fight with Udanis Ugas. From November, he had a time if he wanted to get a touch-up. If he wanted to get a touch-up in the summertime, he could just go get a touch-up. But a lot of Terence Crawford fans, they're going to miss, they're going to look over that. And they're going to constantly keep trying to remind us about Terence Crawford accolades. If Terence Crawford accolades weighed it so much, there's no way that Errol Spence came up fighting the guys that he was fighting. They're going to say they bombs now. But back then, was they bombs? No. Everybody didn't even believe that Errol Spence was going to beat, what's the guy that went 12 rounds with Keith Thurman? Bundle. They didn't even believe that Errol Spence was going to beat Bundle. And then, better yet, let's go a little harder. Chris Algieri, everybody thought that Chris Algieri was going to box Errol Spence's head off. They're not realizing that Errol Spence was early in his career. And then look, one thing we all going, this one thing that Terence Crawford fans got to agree on, and everybody around the world got to agree on. If you're doing bad pay-per-view numbers, they're not going to keep on putting you on pay-per-view.
Right.
You feel me? Terence Crawford, Bob Arum tried it with him. It was a bust. That's why everything else, it wasn't let's just do the pay-per-view thing again. You know what I mean? Right. But let's just say forget all of that. Like I heard you say, we're talking about right now.
Right.
And that killed everything that he was talking about, because all he was talking about, a guy that had a lineal champion, this and that. So what?
None of that matters. None of that matters today, right? And with all of those accolades, because I get it, Terence Crawford making $2 million at whatever. My point is this:
that was a contract that was a negotiation that he worked up with Bob Arum.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was about to go. Was Terence Crawford, was he supposed to be making $2 million? Bob Arum has stated that he's lost money on Terence Crawford. All those accolades that Terence Crawford had. Why if he has all these accolades, why isn't he selling then? If accolades is what really matters, why isn't he selling? It's because accolades do not matter. It is about having a personality, attracting, being able to attract people and engage with people and have people be interested in who you are and what you do. He does not have the ability to do that. Therefore, he does not sell. So yeah, the 65-35 split, honestly, if you probably base it off of pay-per-views, it's probably actually should be more in favor of Errol Spence. But go ahead.
A lot of my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
A lot of that's what be killing me. Like, you gotta see me, man. I be trying to talk to my girl about it. My girl be like, no, not today. I don't want to talk about boxing, because I'm always on here. I'm on y'all podcast. You know, I be on Blue Blood podcast.
Yeah.
FTB. I be on a lot of people's podcasts. You know what I mean? But I really, it just bothered me that Terence Crawford like even tonight, old boy bring up all Terence Crawford accolades and all that thing. Errol Spence wasn't nothing. So if Errol Spence name's bigger than his now, that tells you something about Terence Crawford then.
Yeah, it does. That's a great point.
Floyd Mayweather went up and up and up and up and up. Terence Crawford is no. And then if Errol Spence is your with your Super Bowl, because nobody never seen you, and you got 39 fights. Come on, you got 39 fights. Errol Spence is your Super Bowl. Errol Spence bust out the scene a couple of years ago. Like let's say Mikey Garcia was Errol Spence bust up. No, Kell Brook put the light on Errol Spence. But when Errol Spence bust out was with the Mikey Garcia, and we all know that was a money thing. Errol Spence was doubted in that too. That's how much nobody believed in him. Nobody cared about, you know what I mean? But he proving everybody wrong. Terence Crawford was born with these type of fans that go crazy on him. Go crazy for him.
Right.
And the more they go crazy for Terence Crawford, and it makes them it's just like they just keep repeating the same thing. They keep going back to, we could talk about what Errol Spence put a post up. Let's say if Errol Spence put a post up today. He's like, snap. It's regular to us, but we just looking at it like, snap. Errol Spence talk about the game. It's Terence Crawford fans will automatically take that and say, "Oh, look, he ain't talking about that Terence Crawford fight." And like he don't look, he got. Oh man, it's crazy. This dude got things lined up for him, and they start to realize what he mean when he say he don't have to be at the negotiation table. He got things lined up for him that he can enjoy his life. He said this a minute ago. Man, I ain't understand what Al Heyman was talking about, but now I understand. And so when I get finished with boxing, I'll be set.
Right.
So Errol Spence was rolling this way a long time ago. It just would never be up in the media the way it is today because you know what I mean. But anyway, I just want to say this. I just want to get on one more topic.
Yep.
They forgetting about when Errol Spence said what he was going to do to Terence Crawford's face. No matter how they mix it up, how they say it was, Errol Spence told you what he was going to do. Then when he got the belt off of Udanis Ugas, he reminded everybody that I told y'all this. I told everybody this what I was going to do. Collect these belts over here. And he said, "Earls, what's next?" He said, "Oh man, y'all already know who I want next."
Right.
And I repeat this shit going around my house. Cause I'm like, that's some bullshit. Nigga said, "Y'all already know who I want next." Terence Crawford.
Exactly.
And then if that wasn't enough, look, this how you know the nigga serious. If that wasn't enough, he said, "Okay, man down. It's strap season." And check this part out. Terence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt. Now, look, he could if it was just a regular call out, okay. But that last part when he said, "Terence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt," right then and there, Terence Crawford knew Errol Spence was dead ass serious.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Anything else you want to share with the people, bro?
Nah, man, I just stick around, man. I'll be around, man. You know. But
man.
Everybody
where you from?
Like, comment, subscribe, and everything. You know what I mean?
Where you from, bro?
I'm from New Jersey, but I live in Scranton, Pennsylvania now.
Yeah, I knew you.
Are you a Shakur fan?
Huh?
Are you a Shakur fan?
Yeah. No, Shakur, yeah. I'm a fan of his, but you know, my dude is Tank.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Let's take this next call, man. We'll catch up with you, man. Appreciate you calling in, bro.
All right, y'all. Take care.
All right, man. Peace. Hey, you on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg? Who we got in the building?
This Tank. What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
What's going on with you, bro?
What's happening?
We just sitting there listening to the not the last caller, but the caller before him, man. I don't know what he had going on. I just wanted to say, like, it's gonna be a quick call because I was just thinking about what he was saying. He was saying that Crawford was selling.
I think we're losing you.
Yeah, it's like seemed like he signed the big money deals at the beginning of his career because it seemed like Bob was kind of gambling on him, you know, thinking that he's gonna be this and that.
Exactly.
He knew he had he could tell that Bud was gonna be a good fighter, but he what he didn't anticipate was Bud would be out there calling his fans broke and stuff like that to make the fans not want to watch his fights.
Right.
But
exactly.
And another thing was he was saying he kept going back to I don't know what, almost 5 years ago when he was at 140. Like none of that stuff matters at all. That's why I'm like I don't even understand why and he's not the only one who do that though, because I always listen to different people podcasts and I hear it come up a lot. And it's like it don't matter. I'm like
that's their go-to. That's their go-to.
Yeah, and the thing is, like it don't matter. It's like say if me and you, Greg, if me and you, we got a business deal, right? And I'll be like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bring 50%, and you bring 50%. I'm break this in half, right? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna break it in half, but you're gonna be like, well, I only got 25%, and you put up the rest, and then we're gonna split it 50. You're gonna split it 50-50. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
Like, you can't, and that's what they're not understanding. And it ain't, and it really is not even. It's not really Spence just saying it. It's the companies behind them, which I heard another YouTuber say was, I don't want to say his name, but he was saying the same, like, oh, both of these fighters want to fight, blah, blah, but both of the fighters can't want to fight because the people who are working for the fighters are doing what the fighters want, but they not gonna shortchange their fighter,
right?
To
exactly,
just so they can make a fight with something else where it's not gonna be profitable.
Exactly.
So I mean, it just makes good business. Like, if I'm a business owner, I'm not gonna break my business. I'm not gonna give somebody another business 50% of what I could have made all close to the same with just my fighter fighting Thurman or something. I can make basically the same because a lot of people. I don't even know if Bud outsells Thurman, but I know Thurman has a lot of fans. I'm like, he probably make about the same amount of money fighting Thurman as he would fighting Bud, and he don't have to worry about trying to break. Trying to share a lot of the money, a lot of their profit with Bud. They don't guarantee to get that back.
To me.
So
totally makes sense, bro.
But
anything else you want to share with the people?
No, that's all I had.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro. What's your name again?
Tank.
Tank, got you, man. Appreciate
Where
you
calling. From?
I'm from Dallas.
Dallas? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, you too.
Hey, you own the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg, but if you just give me 1 second. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure that you engage. And also that little icon in the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, please tap on that and join the channel. We are always dropping content, and you can find Jason and I in the comment section. We love a healthy debate, so please subscribe and check out what we're currently doing for the channel. Also, get the opportunity, T Ward, this is your cue. Mic Check Podcast, please go check them out, as well as the Boxing Source. Bro, who do we have in the building right now?
Adrian from LA, baby. What's up, man?
Oh, what's up, Adrian?
I thought it was you. What's up?
Man, all I gotta say is woo, man. When it comes to that David Benavidez press conference, man, it got me pumped up, man. Pumped up.
Dog, I was pumped up on that one too, man. That's gonna be a
man. So what I was going to tell you was, so what do you guys think about that? I mean, do you think that David got underneath his skin? You think Plant got underneath David's skin? What do you think about that, man? And man, I just love the energy, man. We need more of that. That's what sells fights right there, man. That's what sells fights. Because, man, the energy there was it was sincere. These guys hate each other, man. Hate each other, and I love it. I love it 100%. Man, I'm tired of watching the basketball games at the end of the game. They're exchanging jerseys. Shoot, man, I want to see guys be like Draymond Green. I want to see you exchange blows, you know? That's what I want to see, you know? So
absolutely. No, man. The energy around that fight is just absolutely raw. I think, Jason and I are very excited about the fight. It's very hard to tell up under whose skin, I mentioned earlier that Plant doesn't have the same energy he had with Darrell, but when you look at David Benavidez, he has a whole lot of extra energy around this fight. So, I mean, is it that David has all this extra energy because there's some doubt in his mind, or is it, Caleb that, maybe he has some doubt in his mind because he doesn't bring the same energy he did with Anthony Darrell? It's hard to say, man, but we'll know more in the upcoming weeks as these gentlemen continue to engage. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if anyone got on either skin. I just know it's bad blood.
Mm-hmm.
That happened from 5 years ago. We just know it's bad blood there. So they're going to get it on. It's just weird to me to seeing Caleb's approach right now. He's kind of chill. He's very calm. So he didn't have the same energy like he had for Canelo. Yeah, it's too calm. So I don't know if that's, that's not like, should I say fear, or should I just be like confidence as well? So you can look at it either way, but I can't wait for the fight. I can't wait for the next presser neither.
Oh yeah, that just got me pumped up. I mean, boxing is back, man. David Benavidez definitely brought it back, man. I'm happy with that. Man, if Booch had that kind of energy, man, he'd be a star. But don't get me wrong, man. Booch is still my number one guy, man. He's still my number one guy.
I don't know, AJ. Like you're a David fan more than a Boots fan now.
Man, hey, man, I'm a Mexican American. Nah, man, but I love Boots, man. Boots is my guy. You my guy, man. I was going to talk about one more. I want to talk about one more thing. I know you guys are busy today, man. You guys are coming up in the world. So what's up with that BLK Prime thing, man? Because it's not looking too good for them. I think Bud just got his little paycheck and he got the hell on and he left them in the dirt, man. Because BLK Prime, man. I felt bad for them. You never want to see a company go down, but man, they're not looking too good right now, man. All double charging and all this stuff, man. What's up with that, man? What's up with that?
I think they're DOA, man. I think they're dead on arrival. I never thought they had much of a chance. And if they truly did pay Terence Crawford $10 million, there's no way that they're not in the red. And when you think about what's going to occur in the next few weeks with Adrian Broner, there's no way that fight's going to sell. So now you have people that might have purchased the fight in the past. They're not going to purchase it now just because of what happened, right? So, I think they're in trouble financially. I don't know how they're funded, but there's no way that they're running a sustainable business model. I don't believe that.
Well, I know how they're funded. They're funded by double charging everybody. You know, that's how they're funded. But I'm glad I didn't do that, man, because looking back, man, it would have been safer to just give one of those prepaid cards for that, man. But you don't want to go out of your way for a prepaid card to go to a fight, man. Come on, man. You know?
Exactly.
Hey, man. Right. But I just want to say, hey, man, but I appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy today. I want to send a shout out to my son out there, Jeremiah. He's probably listening right now. And Jason and Greg, keep it up, man. You guys are the guys, man. Love the show, man. Love the show.
Right, man. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for calling in.
You got it, man. God bless you guys. You have a good one, man.
Same to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Bye. All right.
Oh, man, we got another one calling in from the 513, Jay. You are in the building with the Angry Man podcast. Jason and Greg, who we have on the phone?
This is Big Dose, man, calling from Cincinnati, Ohio, man.
Man, what's going on, Big Dose?
What's going on, man? Hey, I just want to say, man, I love what you guys are doing. And yesterday, man, I just came across that thing that y'all dancing versus Bud, that documentary.
Yeah.
Man, I just say, man, that thing blew my mind, bro. It was so well put together, man, so well narrated. I don't know if I'm a producer, so I make music. So I don't know if it was the piano's what in that thing, man, but it was just like, I was blew away, bro. It was, y'all did your thing on that, man.
Really, Greg gets flowers on that.
No, I appreciate it. Man,
he deserved flowers on that, bro. That was very well put together. It was professional, man. It was good, man. It was tight. But
I appreciate that, man.
I don't understand the delusion of these Bud fans, man. They'll give you a headache if you try to rationalize they thinking, man. It's like, okay, it's cool for Bud to duck out of negotiations. And then y'all say it's Spence's fault. Spence don't want to fight, but Bud is the one that ducked out of the negotiations. Now, I want to keep talking about Bud's accolades as if they mean something in the sport of boxing today. If you were really a boxing fan, you know boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport.
Exactly.
We don't care about what you did at 140, bro. Do that now. You at 147 now. What you doing at 147? You're not doing nothing, bro. Nothing.
Exactly.
You fought Porter, who had one leg out the door. Admittedly, his father said, "I was thinking about stopping the fight before it even started."
Right.
And that's your most notable win. For real. It ain't Brooke who hadn't fought at 147 in 3 years. It can't be him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So really this fight with Keith Thurman that's coming up, I've been wanting to see that fight. I ain't gonna lie. I've been one, but I had made reservations and, had succumbed to the thought that it wasn't gonna never happen because Spence said it wasn't gonna happen. But I don't fault the man for going back on his word. If he forced to fight the man to keep the belt, He want to be undisputed. What are you Bud fans talking about, man? I don't. Your man made it so that he got to fight. He got to fight Thurman, and then you want to blame him for fighting Thurman? What? Stop it, man. Stop it. I just hope
totally agree
that this fight with Bud does happen, but I'm starting not to think that it will. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be a shame. But I already know what was gonna happen anyway. But Spence was gonna destroy that man. Straight up. Straight up. I don't even think it was gonna be a close fight to the point where Bud fans after that fight was gonna be blank talking about they put something in Bud water.
I hear you,
Straight
bro.
up.
I hear you on that.
They would have been like, "Oh man, that ain't even look like Bud, man." You know, just like they were talking about. And you know, Ugas don't never usually stand there. Well, he made him stand there. He crushed that body to where he really move around.
Right.
And he's gonna do the same thing to Bud, bro. Straight up, man. I hope it happens, but I don't think it will, man. Do y'all think it's gonna happen still? In y'all opinion?
Nope, not at all.
If Bud signed with Golden Boy, it's not happening.
I don't think it's happening regardless.
Me neither, man. Me neither. Hey, but salute to y'all, man. Hey, I appreciate what y'all doing, man. And you know, y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. I love to see brothers doing this. I'm about to start my podcast up, so y'all be looking out for me, man. Big Dose 513. Y'all be looking out for me. And y'all go and check my page out. I got original music on there. You know what I'm saying? I made all the beats on there and everything. Y'all check me out.
Write that down, Jay. Big Dose 513. Did you get that?
Big Dose. Yeah.
Big Dose. Gotcha. All right, man. I appreciate that, bro. Love.
Yeah, much love to y'all, man. I'm gonna always be supporting y'all too, man. Keep doing y'all thing.
Appreciate that.
Peace.
Peace.
I think I missed the last caller. They were calling in. I was trying to answer, and I think I missed them. Jay, how much longer you can go, bro?
Whew. I'm tired. them Bud fans get me long-winded.
I hear you,
Bud
man.
fans be going. They be going. The goalposts be here and there.
We'll go another 10 minutes, man. We got somebody calling in right now. Hey, you're on with the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who we have in the building?
This is Cerebral Shotterboxer, my man. How you?
What's up,
bro?
Man, I'm sitting here listening to this live, man, and I just don't understand some of these dudes, man. Number one, what does pound for pound mean? Because I remember when Canelo was number one. I remember when Lomachenko was number one. Where was Terence Crawford?
I don't know when he was running.
You won number one when they were there.
It amazes me how they always come around and talking about Al Heyman. How many fighters you done heard say something bad about Al Heyman?
Very little. Even the
now AB just did it, but don't nobody pay no attention to AB no more.
And even AB didn't necessarily say anything bad about Al per se. He just said something about they're gonna be fighting on Twitter. They ain't got no more money over there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think my thing is Terence Crawford never really wanted to fight Errol Spence. He was just using that name to try to boost himself up.
Doesn't seem like it at this point. It really don't.
Because even after looking at your little your documentary about the truth about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford told Andre Ward in his interview. Andre said, if Errol does what he said and collect all these belts and then want to fight you, are you going to fight him? Terence Crawford said, no. And Andre Ward said, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah. A lot of people wanted me to put that clip in there, and I had that clip on tap. But
yeah, I was one of them. I was one of them.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I could put it in there, but I just said all of this is basically posturing in hopes that he would get a better deal. But maybe it wasn't at this point, because I had the clip of him at the fight where he said that he wasn't gonna fight, Errol Spence either. I mean, there's just so much stuff that I could include in that documentary, man, that I just didn't want it to get to a point where it's like, okay, they're just going to say bashing Terence Crawford when that's just not the case. I just can't find any rationale behind some of his moves.
Right. It's all been illogical. But I like the fact that you put in the thing that about him with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith said, this kid Errol Spence was like he got the goods, and Terence Crawford response was, your eyes are lying to you.
Right.
I could say the same thing about him. My eyes are lying to me about him. Because who he fighting?
Exactly.
Let's see, talking about fighting Keith too.
The reason why I put that clip in there is because everybody keep talking about easy route Spence. He said he got to have a belt. Hold up. Terence Crawford wasn't actually trying to fight Errol Spence when he came into 147 pounds. He didn't have
right. He wanted Keith Thurman.
Yeah, I could have put the clip of Bomac in there too, saying that they didn't want that fight. So that wasn't the fight that they were interested in taking when he first moved up. So, but it's like you could put all those clips in there, and it's like one clip would, make the point. So, I mean, a lot of us know the story, but I wanted to make sure that it was documented because a lot of us don't have a complete picture of all this stuff right in there. And not to say that the documentary is a complete picture per se, but it does give you a sense of what has occurred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I enjoyed that, brother, and like I said in my message, y'all becoming one of my favorite channels because y'all brothers keeping it real.
I appreciate
you and Jason, man. I appreciate what y'all doing.
I appreciate that, man. It's
really appreciate that, brother.
Man, that's the reason why we do it, man. And we just trying to create a community, and even if it's people who come in and wholeheartedly disagree with us, like a couple of folks have tonight. That's all good, man. It's all about coming in and being a community and talking about the sport. And that will help generate interest and fervor in the sport as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more thing I wanted to say. You got these guys coming in here talking about, I'm an Errol Spence fan and a Terence Crawford fan. You need to be a boxing fan.
Right.
Say it one more time.
You need to be a boxing fan.
Absolutely.
That's how you get these fights. That's how you get these fights.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Anything else you want to share with the people, bro?
No, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna be on the look for these this content you guys putting out. Y'all keep it lit, baby.
All right, appreciate that.
We'll appreciate that.
I'm out.
Hey, you're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building right now?
My name is Dijon from Baltimore.
What's going on, Dijon? What's happening with you?
What's going on, man? So are we live or just?
No, we live.
Okay. All right. So I have I've been watching boxing since '85, man. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted you to do with y'all callers, man, just ask them how long they've been watching boxing.
Yeah,
because I think some of the callers they casual fans, man. So I have a couple questions for y'all.
Yeah.
Now I'm a Buzz fan. I've been a Buzz fan for a long time, and I think that y'all missing a point on him and Earl. I think that Buzz is getting treated unfair. It's not right. He made a lot of effort to get this fight. Now Mayweather done told y'all that this fight wasn't going to happen. As far as the negotiations and trying to make that fight, they wasn't giving him no guarantee. Now, let me ask y'all a question real quick, man. Mm-hmm. If you had the opportunity to make $10 million and you told them that you was going to fight this year of 22, that fight wasn't going to happen, are you going to walk away from $10 million?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
I'm not going away with it, but I'm going to use that to negotiate for my current fight, though.
That's the
okay.
point.
So okay, go ahead. I'm sorry because I want to say what I want to say, and then we could take turns. If you can give me like 40 seconds, and then I'll let you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll let you go ahead. All right. So and again, he came to the negotiation, and again, we wasn't there. It was $25 million a piece for him and Earl, right? You remember that? That he came.
That's what he said.
Live. He said he went to Earl and said, "Hey, look, we got $25 million on the table apiece." Earl said, "What about the back end?" Earl ain't never made that money in one fight, right?
Neither
And
is
again,
Bud, though.
he done told y'all. He done told y'all that he needed to fight in 22. Now, from my understanding, every year Showtime gives PBC money. The beginning of the year, PBC didn't have any money to pay Terence Crawford to fight that year. So y'all expect this man to sit back and keep and not make no money and just wait till February? Come on, man. This man have made all the effort in the world to try to make this fight. Did y'all forget about how Earl made shirts that y'all bought and still didn't circle the block? What y'all want this man to do, man? You know, I'm from Baltimore, man. And, you know, I ain't too far from where Tank used to live at. So what I'm saying to you is, man, why y'all putting this narrative together about this BLK Prime is...
You still there, Dejon? I don't know if you hit mute or not by accident or something. You still there, Greg, too? No, I can't hear you, Greg. Can y'all hear anybody in the chat? Chat, can y'all hear me, Greg, or Dejon? So they can hear me. So something wrong on Greg. Now, I can't hear Dejon, so if he's still talking, I can't hear him. Yeah, they can't hear the caller either. Now, one thing I will say about what the caller was talking about as far as dates, from my understanding, what Steven Espinosa said, there are different dates that are available. They mentioned November, December, and January. But fall in December. They were going to find in January he couldn't hold out one more month for that, or he couldn't actually circle the block with them and say that, hey, I want to fight here. This seems like we might not fight this year. Let me get a tune-up fight, and I'll fight Spence first spring of next year. You know, Zab, Judah, and Floyd did it. Why couldn't he have done it? So it doesn't make sense for me on that. And for it to be all one-sided, it's just crazy the fact that the person y'all not blaming is the person that left. I think Jason Williams may have sabotaged us. If y'all can hear me still, if y'all can't hear me, Greg Anthony.
Yeah, I can't. I know what happened, man. The freaking. So I'm using.
Hello?
You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here.
Can you hear me,
sir? I can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So as I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yep.
We can hear you, D.
Okay. All right. So what I was saying, because I don't know what happened just now. I'm just a little upset because number one, I've been watching boxing since '85. You know what I mean? So, like I said to y'all in the beginning, I'm a Bud fan, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Y'all pushing this narrative about Bud and BLK Prime, which is not true. Wait a minute, let me turn this down. Wait a minute. So what I mean by that is, damn the money. I don't care about the money. None of us ain't getting the money. What happened was Mayweather told y'all. I don't know how many times he got to tell y'all that the fight wasn't going to happen this year. Right? What do y'all want this man to do? He took a fight. I would have took the fight and wouldn't even care who think about it. I would have took that $10 million and you would too. Right? He took that fight because he told y'all that he wanted to fight in 22. They kept giving this man to run around. They didn't have no money. What part y'all not understanding? BBC didn't have no money. Every year they negotiate with Showtime about the funds. They didn't have no money to give Bud at that time. Then next year, But you think this man going to sit on the bench and wait until February for this fight to happen? Come on, y'all. That was all right. This is a fact. How much did Danny Garcia get in that fight when he fought Errol Spence?
I don't recall.
What was the percentage?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Jay, do you recall?
No, I don't recall.
Wait a minute. How much did Mikey Garcia get? Came in with no belt. How much did he get? What was the percentage of Mikey Garcia? Okay. Wait a minute. When he fought Kell Brooks, that was in the beginning. We all understand that. He was chasing that belt. We get it. Kell Brooks will get the more money out of that fight. But what I am saying to y'all is that y'all beating this man down for no goddamn reason, man. And again, I'm not a casual fan. I grew up I live in Baltimore. Matter of fact, Tank lived 20 minutes away from where I lived at. So I'm in a zip code. I'm in the South.
You still there?
Here? I think you must be losing signal, bro. Yeah, he lost him. Yeah. Hey, I want to address his points, man.
Hey, real quick, Greg, let me just say a shout out to Isaac Green for the $4.99 donation. We appreciate you. And he's saying same talking points. Yeah, it does happen like that. It just cycles.
Is this him calling back? Hold on, Jay. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? I don't know what happened.
Yep, I can hear you.
So, okay. So what I'm saying, man, to you, I don't know what happened. To Greg, I want Greg to really listen to this, man, because the facts is not accurate. And no disrespect to your show or nothing like that, man. But I'm a true diehard fan. And it bothers me when I hear people speak so much. Speak bad about this man. This man got a family. I'm talking about Bud Crawford. He got a family. He got to take care of his family. He got taxes got to pay. Y'all forget about all those things, man. Let's speak on facts real quick. Did y'all ever sit back and watch this man box? Because I'm a true fan. Have both of y'all sit back and watch this man box?
We have.
That's all we do.
Okay. Wait a minute. Again, I like both fighters. Truth. The reason why this fight is not happening is because, again, they didn't have the money to give to him. I don't know how many times I got to say this. Mayweather came out and told y'all this fight is not going to happen. Who closer to Al Heyman? Mayweather. That's a fact. If he's telling y'all that's not going to happen, why y'all putting the blame on this man? What man going to sit back and wait until February and lose $10 million? I can get that $10 million, and then we can still fight the beginning of March? Another month from now? Who's going to sit back and lose money?
So I got a question for you.
Narrative, and it's not right, man.
Let me finish.
Come on. I got one more thing to say, and I'm going to leave it alone. Then it's up to y'all. All I'm saying is this right here. This man done left Bob Aaron. He left Bob. He's not with Bob no more. This man made a business move. He made a business move to go out there on his own and sit at the table. Now, you know another reason why this fight ain't going to happen? Because this man went on his own. Now, just imagine all the other fighters went on their own and didn't need no promoters. Do y'all understand? If he would have made that fight happen, ain't nobody going to get no promoters no more. It's no use for that. So that's another reason why this fight didn't happen. Because if he did that on his own without a promoter, then Al Heyman, and even though he's an advisor, but if he'd have made that move and went to the tables with Al and made that happen, then a lot of promoters would have been mad with Al Heyman. See, y'all looking at it, y'all not supporting this black man at all whatsoever. He would have made history. But y'all keep downing this man out for no goddamn reason. This man, if you could, for real, if you're a street dude, I used to be a street. I ain't out there no more. But you could look into this Bud Crawford eyes, and you could tell this man for real. That's a real dude, man. And y'all just tearing this man up for no reason at all. And I'm getting tired of him. I'm getting tired of Fanon. I'm getting tired of all these other channels that talk bad about him. And y'all supporting that. This is one of the reasons why the fight ain't happening. Do y'all understand that? Y'all get on these podcasts. No, listen. Y'all get on these podcasts and talk so bad about this man. This man is the best. You ever sit back and watch him fight? Look at his fights.
We have.
Support the fight. Listen. Support him. The more y'all support him, they'll listen. But the more you tear him down, it's not going to happen. Because they listening to y'all with this false information. This is one of the reasons why the fight is not happening.
So, bro,
when y'all ever heard?
I got a question for you. Is it us or is it the fact that Showtime didn't have PBC didn't have money? Which one is it now? Because you've thrown several things out there why the fight didn't happen.
Yeah, you got to give us.
They didn't have the money to pay this man. What part y'all not understanding?
So
and then he said he said he was going to take the less cut, and y'all still pushing it. He said, "Okay, all right,
let's
man.
pause.
Nobody was at the table. Nobody was at the table with this man, and y'all pushing this false information, man. We wasn't at the tables.
You've made a lot.
At the end of the day, when y'all gonna hold Errol Spence accountable for what he do? He said he made shirts that y'all paid $80 for. And y'all, he never circled the block. He taking on a 154 pound.
Bro.
For what reason?
You gotta let us respond because you're throwing a lot of stuff.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me start off with he walked away from $10 million. He walked away to go make $10 million. Nobody begrudges Terence Crawford for going to make $10 million. Nobody begrudges Terence Crawford for wanting to fight in 2022. The issue that we have is that he walked away just to make the $10 million when he actually had an opportunity to sign the contract.
That wasn't true. That wasn't true. The way you choosing your words is not true.
I let you talk.
No, you're right. You're right. But go ahead.
So he walked away from the negotiation table, period, because he said he wanted to have the ability to control the expenses, right? So now he walks away and he goes to make the $10 million. He could have easily said, you know what? Let's figure out what it is that we're going to do here, make this money. But hey, I got to go make this $10 million. Nobody's going to begrudge him for that. That's number one. The issue is you could have done both and he chose not to. So now I'm going to go to the hedge fund. Again, this was addressed actually in the video that we did. Why would anybody come with a $50 million deal to the B side when that hedge fund manager knows the manager of the A side? That doesn't even make any sense. So number one, we know that Terence Crawford had been affiliated with Daniel Kinahan. Was it possible that Daniel Kinahan was actually the individual that was behind this hedge fund? And we already know that Al Heyman and team didn't want anything to do with Daniel Kinahan. So that 20 to 50 million dollars to me, that didn't even make any sense. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't make any sense to begin with. That's number two. Number three, you're talking about
that's your opinion.
Not okay. But a lot of this is your opinion as well. A lot of this is your opinion as well. So you said that Spence didn't spin the block. You said, hold up. You said Spence didn't spin the block. In one breath, you said that Terence. Let me finish. You said in one breath that Terence Crawford ain't gonna wait around for Errol Spence. He got to go feed his family. Then why the hell would Errol Spence wait around for Terence Crawford to go make his $10 million? Isn't he also entitled to feed his family? Isn't he entitled to go ahead and go about his business after Terence Crawford went about his business? Don't jump in.
So now,
don't jump in.
Now I'm gonna backtrack. Wait a minute. I'll let you talk. Let me say one thing. Let's backtrack a little bit because I can answer that real quick. When was the first negotiation? When they first sat down to talk? Do you remember?
What is it? In May.
When they first.
What does that matter?
When you say
it was May. 2022 May.
Let's just say May, which it wasn't. It was in June. So let me tell you this.
It was actually in May because Errol Spence is already on record saying this in my video. That's not true.
Okay. So when they sat down to talk, let's say May or June. I don't care at this point. Let's just say May or June. Okay, so when he agreed on everything. Do y'all remember that? Am I lying about that?
So wait a minute. He agreed. He agreed on everything.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He
yes or no?
On everything. Let's just get to the point.
Then what?
He agreed on everything,
right?
Wait a minute. I'm just saying he agreed on everything. He made it worldwide that he agreed on everything. So again, y'all pushing this thing that's not true. He wasn't going to fight, and nobody who. Oh my God!
Hold up. You haven't answered my question. Hold on. I gotta pause. You. Hold up. Because I let you do a lot of talking. I gotta pause you. The question that I have is: you saying that Terence Crawford is not going to wait around for Errol Spence? Period. So why does Errol Spence need to wait around for Terence Crawford?
So he went to the table in May or June and said to them that, "Hey, I need to fight this year." That's what he said.
Okay.
He has to fight this year. Hold up. So. I don't want to get through the he say and she say. I don't like that, man. All I want to do is speak facts.
Okay.
The fact that PBC didn't get back to him right away, he made a decision for him and his family.
Okay, that's fine.
That $10 million.
Okay. Now Errol's making a decision for his family.
The fight wasn't going to happen. Now the question is,
bro, you keep arguing the same point.
Wait a minute. He made these shirts, right? And I'm tripping off these shirts, right? He made these shirts that he coming knocking on Terence Crawford door. The fight never happened. When y'all gonna hold him accountable for that? When y'all gonna say, "Hey, Errol,
bro, no, Jay, hold up. I'm not gonna let you get off that easy.
There's no reason for him to go to 154 and take a fight.
Hold up, bro. You jumping all over the place. I just asked you a simple question. Terence Crawford walked away from the negotiation table, and your reasoning behind that was that man ain't got to wait for Errol Spence. He got to go feed his family.
No. Okay. I said, okay, so now you putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I said they never got back to this man. That's what I said.
Did you not say that, Jason? People in the chat, did he just not say that?
Ho. If you go to his live, when he did that live, did y'all listen to it? This coming from his mouth.
Dejan, you don't want to go to that live. You don't want to go to Terence Crawford live because you're going to lose this battle all the way.
Bro, people in the chat are agreeing. You just said that man, he's not going to hold up for Errol Spence. He's going to go because that man got to feed his family. That just came out of your mouth. Then when I flipped it, hold up, let me finish. But when I flipped it, hold up, bro, hold up.
You've been waiting for so long.
Bro, but that doesn't matter. That does not matter. Errol Spence, he walked away from negotiation. But then you make the comment that Errol Spence didn't spin the block.
That's not true, man. All I'm saying is that he's been waiting for so long for PBC to get back to him. He made a decision for him and his family.
That's fine. He made a decision. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. He made a decision for him and his family.
How do you know? How do you know?
Hold up.
How do you know?
Bro, hold on. You just said he made a decision. They didn't get back to him in time, supposedly. And he made a decision for him and his family. But
no, that's a fact, not supposedly. That's a fact.
Okay, bro. Okay.
They didn't get back to him in time. And then when he agreed on everything, when he agreed on everything, it still didn't get signed.
You are going in circles, man. That's fine. That's fine. Then you criticize Errol Spence for not spinning the block. But Errol Spence is now making the decision for him and his family because he doesn't have to wait around for Terence Crawford either. So how can you criticize Errol Spence for doing the same thing that you praising Terence Crawford for doing? Make it make sense.
I'm trying. I'm about to make sense right now. Let
make
me
it make sense.
Order real quick, man. Because and again, I went down the street and I came back. Let me make sense to y'all real quick, man. The reason why the fight not going to happen at that point in 22 is because PBC didn't have the money.
But you said it was our fault.
That's a 100% fact. Number two, Mayweather came out and told y'all that the fight wasn't going to happen.
What does that have
and y'all still blaming this man.
You said but agree for everything though.
The fight. I could pull it up on the phone and send it to y'all. That Mayweather said the fight wasn't going to happen this year.
You said but agreed to everything. But agreed to everything, why didn't the fight happen?
You literally still haven't addressed what I said. You literally still haven't. You going back to the same talking points you having this.
What y'all like? Y'all good at playing with people's minds, man. I'm not
playing with your mind.
Hey, don't blame us. Blame Bud because you watched all those interviews he did and you got confused. I'm telling you, Bud been all over the place on y'all.
Look. y'all need. All I'm saying is, man, I'm a true boxer fan. Y'all got to stop pushing this narrative about him walking away from this fight or running away from this fight. That is not true. Earl want to fight. Bud want to fight. The problem is that you got these promoters that's not supporting it. You got these promoters fucking these fights up, man. I'm not speaking bad about Earl. I ain't trying to do all that.
Hey,
I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight just like y'all want to see the fight. But y'all gotta stop pushing this BS around, man. It's not true.
Hey,
stop trying to take and hold Errol Spence responsible for not circling the block. Y'all got $80. Y'all put $80 for
let me say something real quick. Let me say
never
something real
happened.
quick, Greg. So Deshaun, you said
after that fight, he said we can fight. He been trying to push this fight.
Deshaun,
what is wrong with y'all?
You mad at Errol Spence for not circling back? What do you mean by him not circling back? He hasn't fought anyone since the negotiations failed, so he has a chance to go nowhere.
Actually, 154, man. Why is he going to 154?
Because he doesn't have to wait for Terence Crawford, just like Terence Crawford doesn't have to wait for him.
And it's a mandatory.
Y'all. Okay, so let me ask you this one question. Do y'all know? You know the guy that Bud Crawford got that belt from? What was his name? That WBO belt.
Horn.
What's his name?
Horn.
Jeff Horn. Do y'all remember when Errol Spence said he want to fight and he was going to beat Jeff Horn ass with that WBO belt?
I don't recall.
Go get the clip. Wait a minute. I can pull it up and I can show you. I can pull that clip up and show y'all. Hold on. And then soon as Terence Crawford got the belt, you didn't hear that shit no more.
Send a clip. Because everybody, y'all love saying that shit, and I've been looking for that clip and can't find it no damn where.
Fact. That's a fact.
Pull it up.
What's wrong with y'all?
We're gonna get to the next call soon, though.
Listen. This is the one side podcast, and I don't like that. I don't like one that's supporting. and this sounds like Fanon, man. I just watched y'all just now, and I'm like, damn, this sounds like Fanon again. Fanon and Money Brown and all them. Come on, dude. This man was trying to fight this man. He pulled up on him. Y'all remember that with the hoodie on? When Errol Spence had the red hoodie, he pulled up on Earl. Y'all forgot about that? And what he say?
Oh my God.
Why not take the easy fight and fight Sean Porter?
Hey, let me ask you this.
We already talked about.
What did Terence Crawford say after that? Because you Terence Crawford fans always forget that part. What did he say right after he said that?
Hold up. So when he said to him, y'all told me to get the belt. I got the belt. Keith want to go over here. Earl want to go over there. Everybody want to go over here. I got the belt. Now, when he say after that, only thing I could recall that him saying is Al Heyman never had him on the list of fighting Terence Crawford.
What he said in that same conversation was
Crawford.
He said,
but
man,
if you think about it, go ahead, man.
He said you a smart man. Because Errol Spence said he on this side. Why wouldn't I go over there and just fight him?
Why in the hell do that make any sense? Where you at? A belt is a belt. Why do it make any? See, there y'all go. Hey, there y'all go. That other side of the bullshit. There y'all go with that.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Terence Crawford.
Why would you go to 154 and walk away from a full belt?
Hold up, bro.
Hold up. What is wrong with y'all, man?
Because you jumping all over the place. Terence Crawford also called the other side of the street when referring to Boots Ennis when he was on, I believe it was the Boxing Voice.
I'm sorry. Boots don't bring nothing to the table. He ain't bring nothing. Y'all making him
that's not the point. The point that I'm making is now there's nobody. The point that I'm making is that similar to Tim Bradley, it's conveniently a side of the street depending on who's talking about what. Tim Bradley, there's no side of the street for Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. But then when he was supposed to fight Errol Spence, there is a side of the another side of the street. When people start asking Terence, hold up. When Terence Crawford was asked about Boots Ennis, he said that no, Errol Spence should have been fought him because they're on the same side of the street, but not for me because I'm on the other side of the street. So how does it exist for one but not the other?
Listen. Listen, wait a minute. All right, so listen. I don't speak on the other side of the fence. I don't talk that way. That's for punks, man. I don't talk that way. If I know you got a belt, I'm coming to get it no matter what fence you want. If I got to leap over that fence to get you, that's what it is. I don't speak that way.
I don't disagree.
That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with other side of the fence and all that crazy stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with that. If I need that belt and I'm going to make history, that full belt era, that's what I'm going to do. He said it and he went worldwide and told y'all he going to come and get that belt. But yeah, he going to 154 and fighting somebody that don't even make sense.
It satisfies a mandatory. You get that?
He wasn't going to never fight. Y'all forgot about that. I ain't never fighting.
Oh, here we go with that. Oh, here we go with that. Hey, man, I appreciate your time calling in, bro.
That came out of his mouth. That came out of his mouth. Hold him responsible for what he said.
So, bruh, so he's supposed to lose his belts because he doesn't fight Keith Thurman? Make it make sense. Would you be asking Terrence? Hold on. If Terence Crawford had said he was never going to fight somebody and they make him the mandatory, you telling me you would want Terence Crawford to just drop his title? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. Listen, oh my God, listen. All I'm saying to you, yo, is that he said that he wasn't going to never fight Keith. That's what he said, didn't he?
It's mandated.
Now he got to fight, right?
It's mandated. If he doesn't fight, he loses his belt.
He could have fought Terence Crawford instead of Ugas at that time. He went to fought Ugas. He could have fought Terence Crawford when he fought Mikey Garcia. He could have fought Terence Crawford when he fought Danny Garcia. Make it make sense to me. That man got the belt, so why are you fighting Danny Garcia at that time without a belt? Why are you fighting Mikey Garcia that don't bring nothing to the table at 147? Nothing. And that man's still sitting on the sideline with a WBO belt. So he avoided Terence Crawford many a times. Can y'all answer that question?
I can't answer any more questions, man, because we never gonna see eye to eye, bruh. We ain't never.
No, because I'm making sense to it.
No, you're not. You're not making any sense.
You're making sense to yourself.
It's y'all laughing because y'all trying to make me look crazy, and that's not.
No, I'm not trying to make you look crazy. No, I don't. I'm not trying to make you look crazy.
So why didn't he fight Terence Crawford fights ago?
Hey, listen. The reason why I'm behaving the way that I'm behaving is that every time I ask you a question, you can never actually answer me. You go off. You go off on a tangent.
You only ask me one question. Ask me a question.
And you haven't answered that one either.
Answer.
We gotta wrap this up in a second. We got other callers waiting.
I'm pissed off at y'all because y'all pushing this bullshit narrative about him, and it's not true.
It's all true.
Ask me the question. Ask me a question right now, and I answer.
So you said that. I'm going to ask you the same question. You said that Terence Crawford walked away from the negotiation because he needed to fight this year because he got a family to feed. Now, all of a sudden, you telling me to hold Errol Spence accountable for not spinning the block, even though Terence Crawford walked away, and now he needs to go and make a decision for himself. Both men need to make decisions for themselves. How can you criticize one but say the other one was okay? That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, man. I'm going to answer that.
Answer a question with the question, though.
The reason why he walked away from that fight at that time because PBC wasn't getting back to him in time. He told them in the beginning and he told them back in May or June that he needed a fight before this year out. They knew that. They took their time with it, and what he do? He walked away from it and he went and got that bag. He accepted everything from them.
Except the fight. So if he accepted everything, he would have had to fight. Period.
He took less of it and still. I answered your question. What else did you want me to say?
No, you didn't answer.
I just answered.
No, you didn't.
I just answered. You said, why did he walk away from it? And I just told you why.
No. That's not what I asked. Hey, bro, that's not what I asked you. You're criticizing one man for walking away, saying that it's okay for him to walk away because he can't wait for the other man. But then you're criticizing the other man because he didn't wait for the man that walked away. Either both of them are okay or neither one of them are okay. But one can't be okay and the other one not. That doesn't make sense.
Bruh. But it makes you see, there you go. There y'all go. All I'm saying is he's supposed to have been fought this man. That's it. 5 years later, he been fought this man. He told his man to get a belt. Y'all forgot about that. He got the belt. No fight happened.
Did you go?
He said to him, I could fight Sean Porter. I can go the easy route and fight Sean Porter. But when he told him to get a belt, he never fought him. He went to fight Sean Porter, right? And then after that, he's supposed to fight Pacquiao, right? No, he fought. No, Pacquiao, right? Supposed to fought Pacquiao, but he didn't. Got into an accident. He came back before Danny Garcia. And then the Ugas. Why didn't you fight this man? That's all I'm saying, man. Why didn't you fight? You fought Danny Garcia. It didn't make sense to me.
Did Bud sign the contract?
Right?
He agreed to everything. Did he sign the contract? Yes or no?
It wasn't no contract. It wasn't no meeting about the fight.
Listen, bro.
That's what I'm trying. It wasn't a sit down to fight this man. The whole plan was.
You said everything about Spence is all lies and opinions, but everything that Bud says is all 100% true. Were you there?
Errol Spence. Let me ask you one question. Errol Spence said from 2017 that he was going to collect all the belts that the PBC fighters had, right or wrong? Yes or no? Simple answer. Yes or no?
So why would you tell this man to get a belt?
Yes or no? Fight? Yes or no? Yes or no? And I'm gonna tell you something. It wasn't Errol Spence that was saying get a belt. It was actually Keith Thurman that was preaching to get a belt. Errol Spence said that, of course, when he gets a belt, I'm going to fight him because at the end of the day, I want to be undisputed. So I'm going to collect all these belts on this side, and then I'm going to go fight Terence Crawford. Period.
So you said he's going to clear everybody from PBC side that got a belt. Why he fight Danny Garcia that didn't have a belt?
So let me ask you a question. Was Danny Garcia?
No. Answer my question. Why did he fight Danny Garcia that didn't have a belt?
Can I answer it? Danny Garcia was his mandatory.
You just said it.
Danny Garcia was his mandatory. Next.
Oh my God.
So he's not supposed to fight his mandatory?
Is
he not supposed to fight his mandatory?
Oh man. Y'all funny. Was Mikey Garcia
did he not come off an accident? Also, was he not just coming off of a horrific accident?
Was Mikey Garcia that came up from 140 to go to 147 to fight Errol Spence? Was that his mandatory? I'm asking y'all.
Was David Avenizia Crawford's mandatory?
Oh, dang, no. Dang, when I asked y'all, I just asked y'all a question. Y'all talking about me running away from questions. I just asked you a question.
But you didn't answer mine. What was the question again?
Was Mike, or y'all just had enough time to pull it up online?
No, I'm not pulling up anything.
Was Mikey Garcia that came up from 140 to 147 to fight Errol Spence, was that his mandatory?
No, that wasn't his mandatory. What's your point?
Okay, where was Bud at when they fought then? What was
he gonna clear you just said he's gonna clear everybody from the PBC that got a belt. That's what you just said. Rewind the tape back. Hold
on. I understand what I said, bro. I don't run from what I said like you do. So yes,
so answer the question.
Yes,
I don't run away from
I'm answering the question.
And you're not gonna push that narrative. Go ahead. You just answered my question, right? So again, when he fought Mike, why the hell he didn't fight him? Why didn't he fight him?
Hey, we appreciate everything, but we're gonna have to go to the next caller.
Bro. Hey, bro, no, but yeah, this was actually probably one of the better segments of our show. I actually very much so appreciate you for calling in. Honestly, this was one of the better segments. You calling in. The next time we talk about this, I actually do want you to call in again.
All right, but can I say one thing before we get off the air, man?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
Podcast. Can y'all push both fighters and not one fighter, please? That's all I'm asking, man. Please don't be like a Fanon and Money Brown and all them, because push both fights. When you push both fighters, the fight will happen, not just one fighter. That's all I'm saying, man. When I hear stuff like this, I don't like it. That's it.
Yep. All right, man. Sounds good, man. We appreciate you calling in, bro.
Man. We gave you a lot of time there.
Baltimore all day. Baltimore all day.
All day, bro. All right, man. Yeah, man. There was a lot. I appreciate the caller calling in. There were a lot of things that I totally disagree with him on. I think a lot of things that we asked him questions on, he really didn't answer the questions. But it's all good. We got another call in. This is gonna be our last caller for the night, Jay. Hey, man, you're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. You're gonna be our last caller for the night, man. What's going on with you?
Man, what's going on with you brothers, man?
What's good, man? What's good?
Who's got on the line today?
Okay. Yeah, great show, man. First of all, man, I love your show, man. It's refreshing, bro. And I really appreciate you guys, man. And I heard you just say that this is such a great segment with the dude that just got off.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to have him back for some other time?
Sure.
Bruh, dude gave me a headache, man. Please. Please Terence Crawford fans, man, I'm convinced now that there's no need to go back and forth with them because you just ain't nothing gonna happen out of it. There's no logic there. But really, man, I just called to try to dispel one narrative that everybody keeps talking about, and I don't hear anybody. Okay, the thing that Mayweather told y'all the fight wasn't gonna happen. Everybody,
I was going to address that if he would let me talk. But
Mayweather told y'all the thing. What else you need to know? Mayweather said. Mayweather never said that, man. Dude said if he could send you to pull it up and send it to you right now. I hope him and everybody else just keep saying that. Will pull it up and really listen to what he said. Only thing he was saying was that the people who were putting out the reports at that time that the fight was
correct,
signed, sealed, and done, that they were wrong.
That is absolutely correct.
That the fight wasn't signed, that the fight wasn't done, and Mayweather's gonna be Mayweather, so he's gonna talk in a certain kind of way. Even when he talked about I'll be the one to let you know, and I'm talking to Al every day. He was basically saying it'll happen at some other point, but as of right now, it's not done for November 19th, and that's what they were putting out, and that's all he was saying.
That's if you look at the actual documentary, I actually addressed that. I actually showed. I think I gotta check that out. Maybe I have clips.
I missed that part.
Yeah. Mayweather didn't say that the fight would happen next year until that very last statement.
No.
Every other time he addressed it, he was actually addressing that the fight wasn't done. And Terence Crawford fans grab that stuff and just run with it. And they wonder why people like us become frustrated because you're creating narratives that don't exist.
Exactly. I done heard that a million times now, man. And nobody never says nothing. Everybody lets it ride like, okay, well, yeah, he said that. But no, he never said that,
Exactly.
But yeah, man, that's the only thing I wanted to say. Because I've heard it so many times, man, and that gives me a headache every time I hear it. It's like, cause even the people who are like defending it, when they hear it, they kind of let it ride. Most of the time, like, okay, yeah, well, he might have said that, but this and that. And it's like, wow, But hey, man, once again, man, I love you guys' show, man. I don't even call in the shows. I watch a lot of shows. I'm a boxing fan. I love you guys' shows, man. You guys are a refreshing. What I want to say, just a new show to come out, and I really
appreciate that, man.
What's your name again, bro?
My name is Tiger.
Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, you have a good one, bro.
You brothers have a good day too.
We got another one calling in, Jay. No, they left
another one.
All right, man. Well, that's it for tonight, man. Thank you for everybody that showed up, all the callers. All the engagement, everybody that gave to the channel today, man. We greatly appreciate it. Man, I'm just gonna take it. This is the last one, guys. I'm not gonna take another one.
Oh man,
you're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's going on with you, man? We got 3 minutes, bro.
All right, I'm gonna try to. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Art. I'm calling from Oakland. I've been watching you guys for quite a while. I'm an OG. I refer to myself as OG when I'm talking to you guys sometimes. When I write in, here's the thing. Here's my take on all that. Errol Spence tends to keep his mouth closed. Terence Crawford and his crew, them idiots, they run their mouth too much.
Yep.
And here's when I stopped liking Terence Crawford. When they ran into Errol Spence along with Al, what's his name? No, Bob Arum, and that little mutt that Terence Crawford hang with, Boxing Bernie. When they panned that boy up down there and was trying to hem him up in that lobby, acting like little punks and little thugs, and trying to talk like they really wanted to fight him. That was just some street corner shit, man.
Right.
So my thing is that Terence Crawford is a coward, and his crew, they're like little rats, man. They only come out when it's dark. And so I don't buy into nothing of that stuff they talk about because they put all those fake narratives out there. And what does Errol Spence do? He doesn't even talk that much. And what does his trainer do? Doesn't even talk that much. But that old hamburger eating sucker that works with him, the big old fat guy, what's his name?
Bomac.
Big Mac.
Yeah, Bo Mac. Yeah, Big Mac, exactly. He runs his mouth. Of course, lately he's been sort of quiet. But he just, they just belligerent. They act foolish all the time, man. So, I tend to go with Errol Spence, and the truth, and the eye test and the ear test speaks that, that Terence Crawford really don't want that smoke.
Right.
So, I just can't buy it, man. I just cannot appreciate Terence Crawford at all, man. And talking about he gonna go up to 154 and he just, what do you call it, capping, talking a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I'm 71 years old, man. So
man, we appreciate you calling in, OG.
Lately, I don't follow a lot of it, but man, I ain't buying into none of that stuff, man, that you hear from Terence Crawford and his crew. So anyway, that's what I want to say. I love you guys, Jason and Craig, and don't hurt them, Craig, because I see what you're doing, man. When they start talking that foolishness, you be wanting to have at them. Take it easy on them, man. You got to understand. If they Crawford fans, man, if they Crawford fans, they ain't that sharp, man. So anyway, man, I'm gonna end on that, man. Let you guys get on about with your day, man. Love you guys. I'll keep watching, man.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, you guys, stay up.
Same.
Peace and love, man.
All right, very quickly, Greg.
Yep.
Greg, I just want to give a shout out to all the people that donated today. DH, Isaac Green, Cerebral, Shadow Boxer, Martin McLennan, Mark M, LT, Jay, Shanti, Antisocial. Appreciate everyone. If I missed y'all, my apologies.
No, absolutely, man. The people that are in the chat and everybody that supports the channel, man, is much appreciated. Even people that call in and disagree with us. It's all, for me, I really enjoy it. Even the guy that called in that was, talking craziness. I won't call it craziness, but had his own opinion. I enjoy trapping people in what they're saying. And he was trapped on several occasions and never really answered the questions that were being posed to him. But it is fun to just come together as a community and have these conversations. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, please subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button. Or if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure you engage with the content. It helps people find our channel. We are almost at 4,000 subscribers now. Jason and I, it's amazing. Just from the mere fact, Jay, that 6 months ago, we may have had 300 or 400 subscribers, and now we're almost at 4,000 subscribers. So we are humbled and greatly appreciate you guys' support, whether you agree with us or not, again. And so subscribe to the channel, tell your folks and friends about the channel. Make sure that you go and subscribe to the Mike Check podcast and the Boxing Source. Also, go support Black Father Figures. A cruise is coming up later this year. They are doing wonderful work in our community, specifically for Black men and appreciation of Black men and Black fathers. So make sure that you go and support that. And also Rock Dog Interactive, make sure that you support them as well. We appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody that supported us. Chicken Talk, we definitely appreciate you. Brenda, Jason, T Ward, Mark M, Benaya, Will Wright, Windy City Assassins, Cerebral. Can't remember Cerebral's name now. Of course, Jason Williams, he always in the building. Brenda McDonald, Chi-Town Finest, Itty Bitty Bad Boy, Rockman for calling in. Appreciate you, man. Of course, the League of Legacy, Isaac Green, everybody that gave us money tonight. Very appreciative of you guys. We will be back next Sunday. We might Tunnel Vision is our guy as well. We might be back this coming up week sometime if we get the opportunity to, but certainly we will be back next Sunday. We went 3.5 hours. We've only done 2 hours before. So this is the highest amount of time we've ever been on live. So appreciate you guys and the support and you guys being tuned in for so long. So again, much love. And until next time, you guys will see content from us tomorrow. Till next time, peace. Damn.